You talked about how incredible of a crowd it was and just the whole vibe of the city on Friday.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this culture is really growing?
Well, I think culture's, it's a plant you've constantly got to prune and maintain and water. So I think we're always working on that. And, I don't know if it's ever going to be where we exactly want it, but I think we're always working on it. But I am really proud of our kids. We talked about Friday night after the game. This was my first group that came in as freshmen, and obviously we know the first couple of years we didn't have a whole lot of success. And for these kids to stick to it, keep buying in, keep working hard, and then be rewarded with back-to-back league titles. I mean, obviously we got, we've won a share for sure, and we would beat anybody that we could tie with, but we want to win it outright this week against Nickerson, so we still got that to do. But really proud of our kids for that. Hanging banners is hard. If you go look, it's really hard. So I'm really proud of our kids. And then this community is incredible. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff going on last week, but man, that crowd was a lot of fun on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids had fun with it. Anytime you have a crowd like that, it juices you up a little extra, and it's awesome to get a win there.
How big was it getting out to that early 14-point lead? Because that was kind of the gap of the whole game, kind of that 14, then 10, then, never really got too far away or too close from that 14. So us getting those 14 first, I thought was huge.
Yeah, when we talked about that, I think on the pod or pregame show last week, that what was big was getting up early with the two types of teams that were playing. They want to control the ball. Now they threw the ball really, really well, and we want to control the ball and control the clock. So I thought, when our defense came out with their hair on fire, their first 3 possessions, we got 3 and outs, and we're able to go score twice, and I guess we got 2. Yeah, we scored twice, and then their third possession they scored, and then we came back and scored again. Offensively, we only punted once all night that first drive of the second half, and we had a couple miscues there. But anytime you only punt once all night and you score a touchdown every other drive except for the field goal when we ran out of time, I think you got to be happy with that offensively. But to their credit, they kept battling too and kept up score for score, like you said, after those first 14 basically. But so I think never letting them get comfortable and getting their rhythm where they could really try to grind the clock was a big deal. And I thought our kids, I think they play with confidence when they're up. So I did think it was a big deal to get up 14-0 early. And then we always had the upper hand, always had the advantage, always putting pressure on them to have to do something. And I think that's your advantage if you can do that all game.
Do you think that's something that you can build upon, that you saw your offense on Friday night continue to say, all right, they scored, we got to go score again, and they were able to answer the call every single time to say, all right, we got to go score again, and you did so every time to say, all right, now headed to an Andale looming, a postseason game looming on the road to say, all right, when we need to score, we trust that we can.
Yeah, I think, the last 2 weeks have been big on that. We didn't punt at Hoisington. And
ever since I questioned your punting, we've only punted once. So I thought maybe I was in your ear each time during these games.
Yeah, and big factor of
ever since Cody questioned me.
You asked about, we went for 50 seconds left at Hoisington.
I was going to get to
there
that.
were only 44 seconds left
I was
this
get
first
to
half when we got the field goal. And that's, I've told you, I'm always going to trust our kids, and always going to trust them because I believe in them, and we were able to come away with some big points. That field goal before half was huge. I think our kids have confidence. We move the ball. I think what stats came out today, I saw they compiled the stats, and right now we're 5th or 6th in scoring offense in the state. We're 2nd in rushing offense in the state in 3A, and so that's our identity. That's what we want to do, and I think it gives you confidence knowing everyone knows you're going to do that, and they still can't stop you. And so we've got to get better in a lot of areas, but I think our kids know, especially, going back to since the Cheney game, our kids know when we execute and do what we're supposed to do, we do some really, really good things, and we've got some really good kids. And so I think that gives you confidence knowing, man, if we lock in and execute, we're hard to stop. So I think that's the big thing.
We were joking a little bit about the punting earlier, but Friday on the punt return side of things, we saw a little bit different setup than what we usually see. We had Johnny and Jair back there kind of splitting the field. And we talked to you a little bit about it post-game. Was that just so they can't punt away from Johnny?
Right.
I mean, if you're going to punt away from Johnny, then Jair's getting it. Or
and Jair, Carson, Johnny, whoever's back. I mean, we got 3 guys in those 3 that are really, really dangerous with the ball in the open field, and I think we've seen that. So we feel good about any one of them getting it. But yeah, I mean, obviously Johnny's a special returner, and teams were really starting to angle kick and try to kick away from him. So we thought, we'd put someone else back there and try to make sure that they couldn't do that. angle kick away, and then they're saying, okay, there's already got someone over there, so I'm just going to kick it. Well, then you don't have as much control. When
I don't think we had any punts hit the ground, did we? I mean, they all got a chance for a return.
Right. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we want, because that's that hidden yardage game, and that was big. And we actually missed a couple blocks. I thought we could have broke two. I mean, Johnny was a shoelace twice from breaking it. So, that's what we want out of that, and hopefully we'll hone in on our execution a little more next week and break one or two.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, because everyone says, oh, special teams win 2 games because it's kind of the X factor, and there's only been one game I think we can agree on all season where you haven't won the special teams, and you've won all the games that you have. So talk about how important it is, because we saw it on Friday night with the field goal at the buzzer. You just talked about the punt and kick return game, and then obviously the kickoff game is also a big weapon to have too. So talk about how truly special it is, and is this one of the positions as a head coach you're like, man, I feel like we can win special teams every week?
For sure. With the returners we've got and then the kickers we've got, we feel pretty good about being able to do it. It's just executing. And like you said, the only game we lost, they outgained us by 20 yards per punt in net average. And they put a couple, we only put one in the end zone. They had the safety, which by the way, we sent in to Keisha and they told us was the wrong call.
This was
which we knew.
This was the
the
fumble,
game,
horse collar.
Well, that one they also disagreed
safety.
with. Yeah, I sent that one in. I got
yeah.
word back, and that one was not
crazy.
Correctly called. And then the
Good.
2-point
Now I feel
conversion
better about me complaining on the radio all the
Well,
time.
we
We're right.
and then the 2-point conversion against Cheney should have counted. And then the safety should not have. It should have been a touchback. So yeah, that was what, a 10-point swing in that game.
Kind of,
but I'm not crying about it.
No,
You're still not thinking about it.
Pivot there a little bit though. How does that process work? I didn't know when you send something in.
They have rules.
I assumed you could send things in, but I didn't know they would.
They have a huddle
respond
account,
to you,
and what they will do is tell you if the rule was correctly applied or not. I mean, they're not gonna like they said, and they did a great job. Officiating is really hard, and like the horse collar stuff, the whistle should have been blown when he was down, and that negates all the rest of it. And they agreed it probably wasn't a horse collar, but I can also understand that they get the benefit, and so do we, of replay. Whereas when it's live, it's a lot harder. It's a hard job, and so not to they don't mean to make mistakes. They're human, just like the rest of us, and so that's hard. Obviously you want them to get it right, but sometimes stuff isn't going to go your way, and that to me is the mental toughness thing. Can you dig deep and fight through adversity?
And we did there, thankfully. We came back, scored 2 plays later, and got those points on the board, and didn't let that just take us out of our rhythm.
Right.
Yeah. Going back to homecoming week a little bit. A lot of people back in town. One of my classmates, Lieutenant Colonel John Schwartz, was here, and you had him come speak to the team Friday morning. Tell me a little bit about that speech, or did you get a hold of him? Was that scheduled? How'd you get him in to talk to the boys?
He kind of talked to
what was his message?
School, said he would be willing to talk, and then so we got a hold of each other and started talking. I kind of gave him a framework of I think this would be. He said, "What would you want me to talk about?" We talked about it, and his message was awesome. I mean, he talked about. It was funny. I said, guys, I swear I didn't put him up to this speech, but a lot of the same things we talk about. It means so much coming from someone as successful and as him. Obviously, he talked about effort and attitude, and how he said, I know your coaches probably tell you all the time, but he said, man, I'd take all this off to put the pads on for Pratt High one more time, and
maybe
some of
we
the
can
kids
get it
asked
back
him,
for week 8.
No kidding. Some of the I would take him still. Some of the kids talked to asked some questions. What was your favorite moment? What's your best football memory as a greenback? And that was really cool. And he talked about some of that. But then he talked about that. And one of the things he said that I thought really resonated. He talked about football is such a life game and a team game. And he talked about how everyone has a role. And sometimes you may not always love. You may not get the ball as much as you want. You may be put at this position instead of that position that you want. And he talked about one thing that the Army has taught him in life. It taught him, and he knew growing up, is bloom where you're planted. And he said, whatever you do, he told a story about how when he became a lieutenant, they put him on snack bar duty. He was like, what, snack bar duty?
Right. I signed up to fly fighter jets. I'm on snack bar duty.
Right. And he said, but I said, you know what? I'm going to be awesome at this. He said it probably wouldn't, did anything bad to me if I would have just kind of been average at it. But I decided to be really good at the snack bar, and people noticed. And then all of a sudden, when you do really great at something like that, then they move you to bigger and better things. You don't have to do stuff
to the
like
salad
that
bar, or to
right? And, I don't know what they moved into. Obviously, bigger and better things. But he talked about that, and he talked about whatever you are. I would use the quote. Actually, it's up in the weight room right now. Abraham Lincoln, whatever you are, be a good one. If you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper that you can be. If you're a garbage collector, be the best garbage collector. If you're if an athlete, be the best athlete you can be. And I think that fits in with that. Bloom Where You're Planted was kind of his message, and it was really, really awesome to hear him speak, and it was a cool experience for our kids to listen to someone and see that someone from Pratt is that successful and going on and doing the things he's doing. Starting from Pratt High School, and he's obviously a Pratt High School football legend, and so that was really neat. It was a good way to start the day and pretty fun experience.
Coach, do you feel like, because you preach it at the beginning of the season, so do you feel like some of these kids, the seniors especially, are starting to grasp that of like there's only 3 guaranteed games left this year?
I think we've seen an increase. I really do, since not that you ever want to lose, but I think since the Cheney game we've really seen an increase in leadership and accountability. And one thing we do talk about all the time is great teams are not coach led; they're player led.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to get on them all the time, and that's going to happen. You're going to have times where we have to do that, but overall it should be player led. And I think our kids have done a great job of that lately. Like I said, and I've shouted him out before, Carson Hamey is really stepping into that leadership role and done a great job there, and other kids too. But Carson's been much more vocal, and I know that's not always natural, and he's done a great job with that of trying to hold people accountable, getting on when he needs to, and commanding the huddle and all that stuff. So I think we've seen a ton of growth there, and our kids know, and I think our seniors kind of know, man, it's coming down. It doesn't matter you go to state championship or not. I mean, the season's half over. So that's crazy to think about. And so you want to enjoy every moment on that practice field, every moment on the game field, just treasure those moments with the pad and helmets on with your buddies, because football's a game you can't replicate when you graduate more than any other sport. So hold on to those, and John talked about, make sure you don't regret when you step off that field, when you take those pads off. Don't put them down and then 20 years say, man, I wish I would have did this better.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have worked harder. I wish I would have paid more attention to detail. I wish I would have watched more film. So it was a great message, and hopefully our kids really grasp onto that, because it's a great message for life too.
Let's get to some awards from the game. We never did we couldn't come up with a hit stick from that game. I mean,
that was a tough one.
You said you didn't give them out in the Cheney loss, but we thought for sure against a win, there's got to be a hit in there somewhere.
We
Maybe
gave
after
it,
going
we
back,
actually,
watching some film.
repeated. We gave it on that one. If you remember, they ended up scoring 2 plays later, or a play, 2 plays on 4th down. But Jair came up and,
was that
and hit their
pass?
Dive. No, on the fullback on the middle at about the 2-yard line. It was just him and Jair, and that kid's 230 pounds. And Jair stuck him and stopped his momentum.
So back-to-back hit sticks
back-to-back
for Jair.
hit stick for Jair.
Boom, that's boy Jair.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, no, I thought he played great. I told the kids, Jair played great. He had 15 tackles on Friday night, but the problem is we never want our safety leading us in tackles.
Exactly, which Schwartz did for our teams most year.
Yeah. Now, that being said, Jair does a really good job of reading, flying downhill, and doing some great things there. But, I thought he came downhill and had enough hits maybe to cumulatively get that. And I thought that one was pretty good, because that kid's pretty big.
Yeah,
he was
and
a
he
big
ran
kid.
hard too.
Right, and he ran hard, and it was just him and Jair in the hole. And we saw that's hard to do if you see any of the highlights of the Andale Collegiate game. Wesley Ferris committed to K-State, and him and Riley Marks met at the 1-yard line, and it didn't go as well for Wesley as it did for Jair on Friday night.
Yeah.
So that's hard to do, when you're a safety coming down on a fullback, and so I thought Jair did a good job there.
Moving on then, let's see, MVP. Who do we give it to in the booth there, Austin? Do we give it to? I think we gave it to Johnny.
Yeah.
He had just a big overall round game.
And we gave Co. It was hard. I just after watching film, Johnny and Max, I thought both had fantastic games. Johnny had 110 yards rushing. He had 60 receiving and about some around there, and Max had 150 some rushing. And obviously Max threw him the 2 touchdowns. I thought they both had great games. I'm really proud of how obviously Johnny's battling an injury, but how hard he runs and quick and decisive. And Max, I think Max has really picked up his game. He's running really, really hard right now. He's moving a pile at the end of piles, getting 3, 4, 5 more yards. And
we say that
every time. We say that all the time. You'll see a
time.
pile form up, and then 4 yards later, the pile's still moving. It's like, my gosh.
Yeah, and finishing more runs, running with leg drive. He's being a little more decisive, and then picking his spots to be patient, because he is that Le'Veon Bell patient type runner. So I thought both of them had great games. I thought Jay had a great game defensively, but I thought both of them really set the tone offensively for us and made big plays every time we needed it.
Fantastic.
Special teams player, I can assume. Like if DraftKings took high school sports, he'd be like minus 1,500 every game, Adrian, to win special teams player.
Maybe if we'd have broke one of those punts, but yeah, obviously Adrian's kicking game.
Yeah, that field goal was huge. The one against Hoisington was kind of more of a let's test it out, see if we can do it.
Right.
That one Friday night against Smokey, that one had
spot.
some pressure on it.
Right.
And like I said, from the left hash,
he had to
one
angle
center
it.
of the field. So big time to see that he could come up under pressure and put that through.
Huge.
And you even said it wasn't even one of his best kicks.
No, I mean, he didn't really get all of it. Now, I thought there was a couple extra points that were going to hit the houses across the street that he really got into. But no, I didn't think he. But that's a luxury when you don't kick it as hard as you can and still kick I think it was a 32. So not, but in high school football, and the other one was 42. Anytime you have that, you got to feel really good about that in the half, in the games, whatever. Knowing that you've got a really good chance to convert there. And Adrian does a great job. He listens. He's fundamentally sound. He's getting better and better every week at that. So I think that's a big weapon to have, special teams wise. Yeah, so he deserves it. More often than not.
Nice. All right, then roll into practice. Who was our practice player of the week? And do you give a most improved player?
Practice player.
Just practice player
of the week. Scout team player of the week. Creston Poor's really been doing a great job for us.
Oh, you're going to love the caller we have tonight.
Oh, man.
It's great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we got a phone in from Chad Poor.
Chad.
So,
I am more terrified of that one almost than I am of anything you could come up with. No, Creston does a great job, and you talk about a kid that's came a long, long ways.
well, hey, he took my daughter to
physicality-wise.
homecoming, so I don't know how. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of him yet, Creston.
I still think Ryan may be able to bench more than him. So
She did say
Wow.
that Friday night or Saturday night.
Right.
no, Creston does a great job. He gets in, never complains. Obviously, playing Scout the quarterback, gets hit a lot and jumps right up, never complains. Obviously plays special teams for us as a freshman. He does a great job, and he's going to be a special player for us by the time his career's over.
Wow, I love that.
All right, well, let's see. I think we should get to that phone call then before we move on to the
Definitely,
next
yeah.
thing. We
man.
brought it
Oh,
up.
for-
The,
oh, for sure.
Now, I bragged on Creston. I don't know about Chad.
Yeah, there's not much to brag on about Chad. All right, we're going to get to the phone call from the legendary Chad Poor. Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to my call. This is Chad Poor, first-time caller. I don't listen to the show because the guest isn't that great. But hey, just had a quick question. I love watching the games from the stands and the sideline, and I know sometimes Coach Holting can get very heated with the officials there. And so I'm just curious, if he ever crosses the line with one of the officials and gets tossed out of the game, like what is the line of succession there? Who's the next coach in line? Is that Strong? Is it Coach Brown? Not sure which one that is. And then I also just want, as a follow-up question, was curious if the reason that he gets so heated and stuff sometimes and fired up about that is because he's the shortest coach on the sideline. So appreciate you
That's
guys.
hurtful.
Keep doing what you're doing. Look forward to hearing the answers on this one.
Ouch. Ouch.
Hey, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
Terrible being the shortest.
I'm curious about that, though. Who is the what's
well, that
the
would
line
never
of
happen.
succession?
Never.
Have you ever come
gotten-
close to that happening?
Not even close. No. In fact, I can only
awesome.
think one time in my entire career have I got a flag, and he actually apologized after the flag. I was a defensive coordinator, and I was young at Chanute, and the ref said, "Hey, I'm not listening to you. I only listen to the defensive coordinator or head coach." When I was telling him they tackled us on a screen pass, they can't do that. That's defensive holding. And he was like, I'm not going to listen to you. I only listen to the defensive coordinator, head coach. I said, I am the defensive coordinator. No, you're not. And he threw a flag, and then came over, and our head coach was like, what is going on? He's like, I'm not listening. You're assistant here, this young guy, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, he's my D coordinator. Well, dang it. He's like, I didn't know he was. I thought it was Doug over here. And I was like, oh, he's like, no, it's him. And so, yeah, that was the only time I got a flag thrown on me in my career.
Good.
So no, I don't think you get, you talk to them though. You have a dialogue. Those guys, like I said, it's a hard job. And I think in general, we I'll talk to them, and I want to get their explanations on stuff. They'll explain it. Okay, we move on. So we tell our kids, but that's a great question. That's a great question. I think it would probably be by committee. If that, but that will never, I would never allow, we talk to our kids about doing stuff that hurts the team, and I would never do something that would hurt the team like that. I think you got to know the line, with everyone and every official and know what you're talking about. And also they know they come over. There's been several times, hey, we messed that up. Okay, great. I'm glad you admitted it. You're human. You make a mistake. Let's move on.
Is that how you react when your kids that say, the kids come over to the sideline? Hey, coach, I messed up.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
you say, hey, you're human.
If the
That's
kids
great.
come
Let's
over
move
and
on.
say, hey, I messed up, it's when we try to give a reason for why we messed up. That probably, and we talk about it all the time. We demand ourselves of everybody. We demand excellence. And that's hard sometimes. And it's hard for kids. And you game, you're amped up. I think we've got a passionate coaching staff. And our kids know that. And we tell them all the time, like, hey, we're going to go on you. You're going to know we love you. We tell them at the end of every game, at the end of every, post game. I tell them that before we ask them what kind of day it is, and tell them I love them. And so they got to know that, they know, I'm hard on my own kids. I'm sure Cameron could probably call in and tell some fun stories.
That might be great for next week.
Wow.
That probably wouldn't be good. We're demanding. I think that's the way you go through life, and I think that a lot of times you tell kids people that demand the most from you care about you the most, and so our kids credit, we responded to that. We challenge our kids at halftime, like, hey, we're letting them in this game. Let's go end it and let's fight this half. And I thought our kids, anytime we needed a big play, our kids made it Friday night. By and large. And so that's a product of them. Our kids are tough. They play tough, they play physical, and I think that all goes hand in hand. You can't coach soft and be physical. I don't think that works. Maybe it does. I've never seen it work. So our kids know that. They do a good job with it, and they respond and they work hard.
All right. So after a tough 3-4 game road stretch, come out of it 3-1. Kind of over that tough
5 game.
Right.
Heston.
Yeah. Throw Heston in there. Yeah. Kind of get out of that bulk of the season. Nickerson coming up this week. Last year we beat him 54-18. I don't know. I don't know where to go from here.
Their quarterback
it's gotta
really
be,
gave us some
does it give you a little bit,
year.
though, to exhale, where you're not like, okay, I don't want to assume anything and say we're going to win this ball game.
You can do that as the coach. I think, I told our kids this week, are they down? I mean, obviously, we're not blind. We can see the score against Andale, and obviously Andale's, the class of the state.
I don't think you can take anybody's performance against Andale.
And we've seen some of their other scores, against like opponents, and what I tell them is, you only got a few guaranteed games left. Don't leave something out there. Don't leave anything for granted and say, oh my gosh, I didn't prepare for this. Or even if we beat them, man, that game, like, you want to have great memories. Don't talk about, oh my gosh, we played so terrible that game because we weren't ready to play. And nobody wants that. You don't want to talk about that. So let's do what good teams do, and let's go out there and perform like we should. Let's execute and work on us. Let's work on us and what do we need to get better on. And we've been really working on paths this week and angles and taking great ones, getting off the ball and making correct reads defensively, because I thought we really, really struggled with that the other night. And those will be good because they do a lot of counter, a lot of stuff like that. Their quarterback really, really hurt us. He's a good athlete. He really is. He hurt us last year, if you remember. He had 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns last year and got free just scrambling around. So we got to contain him, keep him in the pocket, because he is a good athlete when he gets outside of it. And then I think it's working on us, working on the stuff that we've got to do to get better to go to where we want to go.
Coach, looking at some of your defensive things, you mentioned some things you want to correct. So kind of explain to the listeners and maybe myself too, like, what are some of those reads that those defensive backs are looking on that you're trying to work on now headed into the end of the season that you're saying, oh, they missed that. What does that mean exactly?
The hardest thing defensively and any defensively, you're trying to stop them. The hardest thing to do is discipline yourself not to be a ball watcher, right? We don't want them to watch the ball. I mean, you've seen our offense. The ball can go everywhere. It can move all over. We can hide it. We can do all kinds of things. So when you start watching that and you start following it everywhere, you can be kind of like a dog chasing its tail. So I think that's what we got caught doing several times. The other night is especially at corners and stuff like that, peeking into the backfield. You start watching all the backfield action, and the guy all of a sudden comes down a little bit and then goes out for a route, and he's wide open because we lost him, and didn't know where he was because we're watching the ball. So I think that's the big thing, is being disciplined enough to read whatever key. And every week we have different read keys depending on what they like to do, where they like to do it, out of what formations, all that stuff. So the big thing is being disciplined and reading your key and doing your job every single play. You know, if the tight end goes down, we wanted our corners flying down to insert. If the tight end releases, obviously they got him. And so we didn't always do a great job of that, I thought. And that's the same thing. I didn't think, you know, our outside linebackers were supposed to key. If the tight end dives in, we're supposed to insert on the double dive, and we didn't insert real well. We're supposed to keep contain if we don't have a tight end on our side, if we're a DN. Just all that stuff. All that stuff goes into it. We were supposed to pull the trigger on the fullback, and then slow play. Conversely, if it went away from you, I didn't think we slow played a lot. We overran stuff. So just a bunch of little stuff, you know, that ends up looking like big stuff. Against the better team you play, they're going to take your mistakes and magnifying larger every time. You know, sometimes you play teams aren't as good, you can get away with stuff that you normally shouldn't get away with. And then when you play the good teams, you really got to focus in, and you've got to make sure that you're locked in and you read your right key every single play. Every single play. It's got to be a discipline 100% of the time, because, you know, when we tell our corners and safeties this, it may not be fair, but linebacker can make a wrong read and it may be an 8-9 yard gain. Corner or safety make a wrong read, then it's a busted coverage.
Yeah, and
it's
everybody sees it.
Everybody knows it. And that stinks, but that's why those jobs are so important, you know, and you've got to really, really lock in and read your keys every play.
How important is it in a game like this week where, you know, theoretically the JV could get a lot of playing time to get some of those younger kids a lot of game action against, you know, some varsity opponents?
I think anytime you can do that, you want to do it. I mean, just being out there on Friday nights, you know, our kids have grown a ton throughout the year, JV-wise. You know, we beat Smoky 48-20 on Monday in JV, and that's, you know, we're holding back 4 sophomores and basically every junior, you know. We only have a couple juniors going with them, so 3 juniors. So they're mostly freshmen, you know, a few sophomores and mostly freshmen. So I think our kids have grown a ton, because I think experience pays dividends. Anytime you can get more and more experience, Friday nights under the lights, but anytime you can get more game experience with game reps, with officials, with the play clock, with all of that stuff, us not standing over them, us being on the sideline, they have to make decisions, because I think that's the biggest thing. You know, when you're out there on your own, you have to understand and make decisions, and that puts that onus of responsibility on you. So sometimes it tells you you're out there. No one wants to embarrass themselves by not knowing what they're doing. So it tells you, man, I don't know this very well. I better go back and study a little more. I better get in the playbook a little more. I think anytime you can get that experience, it's good, and it pays future dividends.
The final question I have for you, and maybe it kind of goes back to last game. Do you practice, because you executed the 2-minute drill to perfection against Smoky Valley? Is that something you practice throughout the course of the week, of trying to get down the field and score when you have to with little time left?
We practice it, probably not. I mean, I'll be honest, probably not as much as even maybe we should, but our kids really do a good job with it. And it's one of those, you know, we try to prioritize with only so much practice time. Yeah. I mean, that's something we practice. Our kids do a good job with that. They stayed really calm. You know, we made a couple little mistakes, not getting out of bounds on catches or getting upfield and trying to dance. We always want to take the direct route on 2-minute drill, and then, you know, try to get down and get another snap in, because all those seconds add up really, really quickly. And we can get first downs, you know, even if we, in high school, even if we don't get out of bounds, it stops the clock till they reset the chains. So we really want to hustle there. But I was really proud of our kids. They didn't panic. You know, we made plays. We're able to move it, 40-some yards in 40 seconds and get a field goal out of it. And that's pretty good execution, and I'll take that any day.
At this point in the season, what do you think Adrian's range is? Have you tested it out? And Pratt, you tested out pregame both ways, see what the wind is. No wind on a
State
field.
secrets.
At Zerger. Okay. Trade secrets.
No, he's
I mean, you know, you always see the green line on NFL, like, you know, trying to get to this range. You know, where's our green line at?
Comfortably, you know, now I'd say comfortably he can kick 45 in, and we feel pretty good. He can kick 50 and beyond. Sometimes the big key there that you learn as a young kicker is, now you got definitely for it. Times when it's that far away, you try to kick it harder, and you lose some mechanics, and you pull through the ball, you kick it too high, kick it too low. When you're trying to kick it harder instead of just taking your normal run up and kick, because you haven't kicked enough, you know, sometimes the NFL kickers, they can put a little more into it if they have to and not lose as much. And even them, you know, it's harder when you get that farther range. But I think, you know, could he make them? Yeah. Big thing we're working on is keep your approach consistent no matter what, because he's got a heck of a leg and can get out there if he no wind, and then you know, and it depends on how cold it is, how heavy the ball is, all that stuff. But no wind or a slight breeze his back, and we feel pretty good around 50.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's
Have you bought a Skylar Thompson jersey? Or are you going to?
Starting this year.
I know.
This
That's
week.
why I asked.
No. Cannon wants one.
Oh,
Cannon wants one for
you
Christmas.
should get. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he wants one for Christmas.
That's
Dolphins.
great. I had to.
How you're
I
a
had to
Dolphins
ask.
fan.
I had to ask.
How
You're the
you're-
only Dolphins
yeah.
fan I know
How you're
on
a
the
Dolphins
planet.
fan
It's-
amazes me.
It's hard.
You live in the land of
I
Patrick,
respect it.
Patrick Mahomes, and you're a Miami
Well, you
Dolphins
can't just
fan.
change allegiances. I've been
Never.
a Dolphins fan.
Oh yeah, you
since
can. I was a KU fan for the first 4 weeks, and now that Daniels is hurt, I think I'm gonna hop ship.
That's you, Cody.
Oh,
you.
no.
I'm not the only one, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
I'll probably catch
Wait,
some.
Austin
some
would
heat for
probably
that.
give you some purple.
Oh, I have
I'm
so
sure he would.
much.
I'm sure
I
he
have
would.
so
Yeah.
much. I
Yeah.
got you.
Okay.
I got
All
you.
right. Well, before we get too far off the rails here, we better
Oh,
wrap it up
What?
here.
No Liggett question this
No,
week?
no phone-ins from Timish or
Wow.
Liggett. You know, Poor gave us a last-minute one on his way out the door here because I told him we didn't have one, and boy, he came up with that right on the spot.
Well, sure he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
I'm sure if you dig deep enough into his brain, there's lots of things there.
That's a scary place.
That's a
that-
scary
yeah,
place to
You don't
be.
want. That's a whole nother
Scary-
podcast.
I just want to point out that I'm taller than him.
There you
That's
go.
why I brought him on the sideline
Oh.
to do stats on Friday night, so there's someone that I was taller than.
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Thank you for coming in, Austin. Always a
great.
pleasure. Good luck Friday night at Nickerson.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Should be a fun one to watch, and we'll be back home next week against Andale. So tune in for the post game of that one and listen to. We'll find out where links are at. I'm not sure what
Follow me on
Nickerson.
Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Nickerson broadcasts their
Right.
game on. So I don't know if it's
I've not heard anything yet.
YouTube or
The radio,
yeah.
we got you.
I think last time it was a YouTube, if you remember.
I
'cause you guys
don't.
broadcast it last time we were there out of a basement.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we might. I can't remember if we paid for the stream. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll check. Check her
But I
on
can't. I don't
Facebook
know.
or-
I don't know
yeah.
if it's changed or not.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Coach. Tune in. Should be a good game Friday night. That'll do it. All right.
And a good Friday night, and welcome to Nickerson High School. Austin McNorton and Cody East is here with you live for True Country. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio as we are here for the final road game of the regular season. And Cody, I think we saved the best road box and the best environment for last. This is incredible.
We've been talking about it all night. We got our own little private booth, a little deck out to the south or east, whatever direction this is. But yeah, we're getting spoiled here with this nice press box.
This is an incredible game, 5-1. Your Pratt Greenbacks taking on the 1-5 Panthers of Nickerson. They had their homecoming tonight. I was talking with new athletic director Alex Nuss about determining how they pick a senior night versus a homecoming night. He said, well, we could have picked homecoming against Andale or Pratt. We chose Pratt. It's just so brutal how tough this schedule is. And talk about that, Cody. How tough of a schedule it's been for especially the Panthers, but also these Pratt Greenbacks.
I was going to say, us as the Greenbacks, we thought our schedule was tough with that, that last 4 or 5 stretch that we had, and it was tough. Don't get me wrong, but if you're Nickerson, they've had who have they got? Cheney they haven't had Cheney, but
they had Andale, Cheney, Pratt all in a row.
Yeah, it doesn't get any tougher than that, for 1, 2, 3, and then
Right.
to have us on homecoming night. And we'll see how it goes.
On paper, it doesn't look like, but it'll be all that spectacular of a game, but we know that it certainly can be. Nickerson, they won their first game of the season at Lions, won 28-0, so they've yet to win here on their home field. And if there was a night to do it, it's tonight. Homecoming is different. As we saw last week for your Greenbacks against Smoky Valley, it's different. You have a standing room only crowd, which is what we're seeing tonight. It's beautiful weather, and that motivates you no matter who you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, they say it all the time. Any given Friday night, and you add homecoming to that, there's just a little extra vibe to the air. The whole week, we saw it last week with just all the different festivities that lead up to it.
Right.
And as our, Coach Holting said, the whole point of homecoming week, it ends with the Friday night football game. So these kids know that. It's a big night for them. They want to defend their home field on homecoming. Pratt's just going to come in here and see if they can play spoiler.
And for your Greenbacks, winners of 2 in a row at Hoisington and then at home against Smoky Valley, as we just saw. So, Cody, kind of coming down towards the end of the season, as you know, and I think Brent said it best to us earlier this week. He said, on paper, yeah, this is a game you should win, but you only guaranteed 3 more games left in the year. So you got to take each one of those. This is your third to last game of the season.
Yeah, and I think at this point in the season, it probably starts to soak in a little bit for some of those
Right.
seniors. Not even seniors, juniors, sophomores. It's kind of like, boy, the season's getting close to being done. All the fall sports are kind of wrapping up. Football's heading that direction, and especially if you're a senior, man, you can count these games because you never get them back, and you'll think about them the rest of your life. Man, what could I have done? What should I have done? And so the main thing, especially with tonight, go out there, play hard for as long as you get to play. And just don't leave anything out there.
Your Greenbacks again 5-1. And here's the other kind of bulletin board material, Cody. Central Kansas League champions officially, but they want to win it outright. As of right now, they're still tied with Heston. You win this tonight, you are the champions outright, and your name is etched in history in Pratt Greenback lore in athletics. How special is that?
Oh, it's huge. Brent's talked about that multiple times on the podcast or on the post-game shows. The league titles are important. Last year we had to share it with Smoky Valley. Never
Right.
got a chance to play them and really, find out who was the undisputed. This year we got them on homecoming night, got that win. And so tonight, to win this and win it outright would be, big banners always. You get a banner in the gym. There's a reason for it. It's a big deal. So hopefully the Greenbacks go out and get it done and can get that banner hung up.
The last time these teams met was in the final game of the regular season. Last year, Pratt won it 54-18. You're tuned in to Greenback Football here on True Country. When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll get you set for kickoff as the captains will be meeting at midfield. It's Greenback Football right here on True Country, and we're back in 2 minutes.
What do we got? About 5 minutes to kickoff. So we'll stay with you guys on the YouTube stream here during the radio break. So I think Nickerson has as many players in their band as they do on their team.
Their
They
band
mentioned
is
it twice.
amazing.
Their band.
And, I remember that from basketball season. They have a really good band, so it's cool to see it on the football field, too. They are loud and proud. And no bias at all, but they have the best fight song in the entire state, without question.
I wouldn't recognize one just from a band playing it.
No bias at all in that statement.
Come on.
Look at that Greenback crowd over there. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's filling up. Looks like coming out to midfield, JR's not even suited up tonight.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Noah Riley's been playing well all year.
Yeah,
I'm
we're going to see
excited
a lot of
see
new
him.
faces tonight.
I'm excited to see him. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio, and welcome back here to Nickerson into the Doug Ray Chevrolet pregame show. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. A great homecoming crowd here for the Panthers tonight as your 5-1 Greenbacks taking on the 1-5 Panthers of Nickerson. Time to take a look at our Schooler Grain weather update. Go talk to Cole Kernahan or Ryan Napier over at Schooler Grain in Pratt. 74 degrees. Sun is setting here to our west. It's already begun to set. The lights are on, and we are ready for some Greenback football. The captains have met out at midfield. The coin toss is done, and we are ready to go here from Nickerson. Should be a lot of fun tonight, Cody. We're very much looking forward to the final road game of the regular season, and then we'll talk about this as I'm sure as course of the game will go on. Tonight, Holcomb is hosting Hugoton in Class 3A District 9, I believe is what it is. Whoever wins that game, Pratt will travel to them on October 28th. That's week 9. Pratt will travel to either the Eagles or the Longhorns in Holcomb or Hugoton based on the outcome of that game. So we'll be following that game closely to determine
there's
where
a lot,
Pratt will be
a lot
traveling.
going on tonight that has a big implication on our future next week. So
Right.
we're going to be, not next week, 2
And
weeks after that.
Andale is playing
Andale game.
Cheaty
Yeah,
as
so
well.
a lot of games around the state that have impact on what the Greenbacks are going to face and kind of what we can expect.
The top of the Greenbacks district, Andale Cheney playing each other tonight, and then the two teams battling for second place in the district that Pratt is matched up with in the postseason playing each other tonight as well. 12 minutes put up on the clock in quarter number 1. Pratt wins the toss, elects to defer to the second half, so we'll see Adrian Juarez for the Greenbacks kicking right to left. Pratt comes out in their road white uniforms, green numbers, green helmets, gold trim down the sides. Nickerson in their home blue pants, blue uniforms, white numbers, blue helmets, and gold trim.
Any predictions on this kickoff, Austin?
Well, there's honestly not much of a win going along with our Schooler Grain weather update. It's a line drive kick, and it bounces in the grass at the 20, taking up the middle of the field and hit hard, breaking out of one tackle, 2 tackles, up to the 39-yard line. Adrian Juarez makes the tackle on the return man, Jace Byard.
Initial hit there that we saw Barrett Boland coming up, making that initial hit that really drove him back.
Right. Love to see some of these youngsters here tonight, and we'll be saying their names a lot, no doubt. So it's 1st and 10 Panthers on their own 39-yard line. They'll be going left to right on the radio dial and get you set to go here in Nickerson as we will watch Colton Morrell and company. We saw what he was able to do against the Greenbacks last year, and he's had a pretty impressive season despite the record. In the backfield with 2 backs with him. Byard goes in motion, and the ball will be handed up the middle to the fullback, and that is Byard, and that's Van Cleek up the middle. Gain is about 3 yards. That's his 56th carry on the season, 173 yards, and a touchdown for Van Cleek this season.
And we've seen that, Austin. Nickerson does have some talent, and they just don't have an abundance of it. So we could see some plays here and there that break one or that shock us and think, well, this is what we were expecting. But Coach Holting said it, and we've seen it too. They do have some talent, so we've got to not be so laid back coming into this game that we get caught off guard by some of that talent they do have.
This is a Greenback defense who's only allowed 18 points per game, 29 tackles for loss, 9 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries. Going in motion is the wide receiver up the middle, the handoff. No gain, about a gain of 1, let's say, up to the 43-yard line. Once again on the carry that time was Van Cleek.
And if you're the Greenbacks, this is how you want to start. You've got a long 3rd and 6 here. You want to take that first drive.
Right.
You want to take that first drive and establish kind of who the dominant team is here. If you can force a 3 and out, that kind of sets the tone for this first quarter and as the game goes on.
And we'll mention in back-to-back weeks for the Greenback defense, they forced a 3 and out on 2 straight drives, 3 straight drives at Hoisington, and then forced back-to-back 3 and outs against Smoky Valley last week. So 3rd and 6, they'll say here. Ball handed up the middle again, and no room to work for the fullback Jace Byard on the carry. He stopped right at the line of scrimmage, 4th down Panthers.
And the Greenbacks do just that, an early 3 and out. Going to get the ball in our hands, start our offense going, see what Nickerson does here. They've got a punt, but we'll just see how effective they are. I haven't really seen what type of punting unit they've got, but Greenbacks looking good to start this game off.
I love the effort and I love the energy. Quarterback Colton Morrell looking to the sideline at Taylor Bowman saying, I want to go for it. Like despite, everything that's been going on, you love that kind of fight and energy. And he said, I wanted to go for it on 4th and 6 on the first possession. It's a high punt for Nickerson. Takes a good Panther bounce, though, all the way to the 30 and in to the 29-yard line. Boy, it was only about a net punt of 10 yards through the air, and then it bounced for 15 more. So a good bounce for the Panthers.
Yeah,
that
the
time on
Greenbacks are
punt.
going to be getting the ball about, their own, 34-yard line.
It
It's
looks
something
like
else.
29.
For a grass field too, Austin, this late in the season, it's in pretty good shape.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you see a grass field this late in the season with so much usage, whether it's band or, middle school, JV
Right.
and everything, and it's like, they're just torn up at this point.
1st and 10 Greenbacks on their own 29-yard line, going right to left. 9:42 to go in quarter number 1. First place, a pass. Wide open is Justice Tatro, 40, 35-30. Justice Tatro's going to go on the first play. 10-5, touchdown, Greenbacks. Oh, the first play of the game is a Greenback touchdown.
I said we needed to kind of establish the dominance early. I didn't know it was going to be that fast. Woo.
Unbelievable. Justice Tatro with his 2nd touchdown of the season on his 7th reception, and that one goes for, if I'm good at math, that is 71-yard touchdown. What a play.
What a play to start the game.
Carson Hamey, a beautiful throw, a miscommunication by the Panther defense, and Justice Tatro is in the end zone untouched. No one got within 20 yards of him on that catch and run. Adrian Juarez will set up for the point after attempt. It's up, and it's a line drive hard kick, hits the way back of the track, and it is good.
Wow.
9:31 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt leads it 7-0. You're tuned into Greenback football. We're back in 60 seconds.
Wow.
Woo! Let's go! What a throw, man!
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. That was
I did not.
That was
First
fast
play's
and
a
furious.
pass.
First play of the game. Woo!
I think that's the first time all season we've thrown a pass play on play
Yeah.
number 1.
We've got Austin's dad running the camera, and that tested his ability to pivot. Woo! Okay, now we see what everybody else has been dealing with.
Goodness. Goodness.
All right, well, quick 7-0, and the Greenbacks are going to be kicking it away with what they run off. Not much time off that clock there, especially for the Greenbacks.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson. 9:31 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt leads it 7-0, and the kickoff will be retrieved at the 15-yard line, taken up the middle, and tackled short of the 25 for the Panthers. As Pratt, their first defensive possession, they force a 3-and-out, and then the first time they touch the football, one play, a 71-yard touchdown to Justice Tatro.
Yeah.
Can't start much better than that.
Yeah, the Greenbacks not wasting any time. Force the 3-and-out, one play, 70 yards in the end zone, 7 points on the board, and now we're going to turn around and see if we can do it again all 60 seconds later.
The Greenbacks have started out ball games so well defensively, forcing several 3-and-outs at Hoisington in a row, back-to-back 3-and-outs against Smoky Valley last week. So let's see what Colton Moreau can do this time for the Panthers. As they'll start on their own 24-yard line, going left to right. They'll hand it up the middle again to the fullback, Jace Baird, and he'll take it to the 25, a gain of 1.
Yeah, just not much there for the Nickerson Nickerson Panthers, right? Nickerson Panthers.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
I said the Nickerson, but didn't know where to go after that.
2nd and 9, Panthers. 9:03 to go here in quarter number 1. Pratt leading 7-0. This Panther defense has given up 42 points per game this season. They haven't
honestly,
started out games well.
Right, and honestly, Austin, you think a lot of that probably is only against a half of varsity. You know, a lot of teams that are facing a JV or a lesser squad come second half or third quarter.
And that might be a little bit of a misleading stat considering Andale scored 108.
That's true. That's going to bump the average way up.
This time, 2 wide receivers go to either side of Morrell in the gun. He'll take it himself on the quarterback run, and he's thrown down in the backfield. Easton Rector got back there untouched. That's a quarterback sack and a loss of 5.
That's an Ag Astra sack is what that is.
Thank you, Cody. An Ag Astra sack goes to Easton Rector. That's Easton's 2nd sack of the season and his 49th tackle. How much fun is that?
Is that right? Only his 2nd sack of the season?
I think
As
3rd.
much as we call, I'm not questioning you. I'm just as much as we call his name.
I think
I
it's
thought
3rd.
that number would be a little bit higher.
Right. Another 3rd and long for the Panthers. 8:05 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 7, Nickerson 0. 3rd and 14. Morrell looking to throw towards the near sideline. Has a man. It's caught. What a catch, but what a hit by Noah Riley, who's in the ball game tonight. right at the 25-yard line, a gain of 5, but 4th and 10.
I'm going to check you on that, Austin. Tay Wilson was number
Tay
7 there,
Wilson,
came up
right.
and made the nice
Yes.
hit.
Tay Wilson, yes, so you'll have to bear with me tonight. 1, didn't bring my binoculars, and 2, the Greenbacks have a lot of defensive names in there that are not usually in there. Tay Wilson is playing the safety spot tonight. Jack Barker's at the linebacker spot, and Noah Riley's in the cornerback spot. Another punt for the Panthers. This time it's a better one, as it'll take a bounce just shy of the 50. Now Martinez will go up near it and then back away at the last second. He thought about it.
He
and then
thought
said,
about it.
"You know,
Actually, I think that was Carson back there, wasn't that 15?
It is Carson back
yeah,
there.
they've got a lot of different people in different situations, so I'm
Carson
sure that's
Haney
not.
returning
I'm
the
sure you're
punt.
going to be checking me here too.
Well,
'cause
we've heard a lot of different, if Johnny Martinez is how much we'll see him tonight. We will not see Jared Johnson at all tonight. He's not even suited up. But the Greenbacks will have it 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line, going right to left. Ball placed on the right hash. 7:24 to go here in quarter number 1, leading 7-0. Last time they had the football, they scored on the first play. Here's Martinez, and he has a lot of room to the near sideline. 40, 35, 30. He's going to go. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Greenbacks. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back touchdowns.
I don't know what to say. I'm going to run out of exciting things to yell each time we score if it's going to be at this quick a pace. Greenbacks are going to have to slow down just for the sake of our broadcasting.
Unbelievable. The Greenbacks have touched the football literally twice, and they've scored both times. Johnny Martinez on a 52-yard touchdown run, untouched here to the near sideline.
Wow, Greenbacks looking good at this point.
Adrian Juarez set for the point after attempt. It's up, nearly blocked, but it is perfect again. 7:13 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 14, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country, and we're back in 60 seconds.
Woo.
Let's go.
Man, let's go. All right. First quarter, 14-0 Greenbacks after quick strikes by Johnny
Two
and
plays,
Justice.
2
Only
touchdowns.
7:13 to go in the game in the first quarter, and Greenbacks up 14-0. I hope I got enough storage on my GoPro and batteries if we're going to be doing updates after every score at this pace. Let's see here. All right.
I knew it. Right when he got to the 50, I was like, he's gone.
Yeah. Once he turned that corner, he wasn't getting caught. We may have to close this window so the fans can't hear us at some point.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody East is here with you live from Nickerson. 7:13 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 14, Nickerson 0, as the Greenbacks have forced 2 3-and-outs, and they've touched the ball twice and had 2 touchdowns as Adrian Juarez kicks it into the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10, Nickerson on their own 20-yard line, going left to right.
Yeah, you can't get any more efficient right now. You know, like when you see a quarterback in the pro, what's his pass rating? Like 148.3, like is the best rating. It's like 2 3-and-outs, 2 touches, 2 touchdowns. Like I don't know how you get any better than that at this point.
Well, you know, the Major League Baseball postseason's going on. I think the Greenbacks are batting 1,000 right now.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers go to either side of Morrell in the backfield, who awaits the snap. High snap, he looks to throw, under pressure, he'll step up and run. We know he's capable of that. And the linebacker, Keyrell Thompson, gets him after about a gain of 2.
Yeah, if you're Nickerson, you really want to just get a first down this drive. I mean, start putting something together. If you're not going to, I don't know if you can get points on the board, but try to just slow the pace down a little bit. Right now, Pratt's scoring so fast and at will that you just want to keep it out of their hands, you know, as long as you can if you're Nickerson. Now, that's easier said than done. It's one thing to send it in and try to do it. It's another thing to go out there and execute it.
6:42 to go in quarter number 1. 2nd and 9 Panthers on their own 21-yard line, going left to right. Trips come to the near side, a wide receiver to the far side. A man goes in motion, ball handed up the middle to the fullback. And again, Jace Byard has nowhere to go. He loses a yard back to the 20.
Yeah, again, we said it last drive, just nowhere to go up that middle there. With Pratt's size on the front 4, they just aren't a matchup for Nickerson that's favorable at all. And they tried to run up the middle a couple times and to no avail so far.
Another 3rd and 10 Nickerson, this time from their own 20-yard line. And the punt game hasn't been spectacular for the Panthers, so
You're able to not convert here. You're in dangerous territory. The Greenbacks getting the ball inside your own territory. High snap, Morrell looking to throw again, immediately under pressure, now rolls to the left with a lot of room to run. There he goes, 25, and he is 1 yard shy. What an unbelievable tackle. I didn't see who made it.
That time it was Noah Riley, 1 yard shy of the sticks. That was a first down and maybe even more saving tackle for Noah.
Noah Riley, it looked like Morrell was going to get it easily, and Noah Riley came out of nowhere and made the tackle 1 yard shy, and it looks like Nickerson's bringing out the punt unit on a 4th and 1 from their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, you know,
like the decision here?
I do, just with the way Pratt scored so quick. If you give them the ball on the 30, now it hasn't mattered really whether it's on their 30 or our 30, but if you don't pick up this first down, 4th and 1 inside your own territory, you're guaranteeing a Pratt score.
Here comes the punting unit again for Nickerson. This time it's a nice line drive punt, and Haney's going to catch it at the 40. Carson comes to the near side with blockers, 50, 45, 40. Haney to the 35 and down to the 30, so that's where the Greenbacks get the ball anyway.
Okay, maybe they should have went for it, Austin.
The Greenbacks get the ball where Nickerson would have had it if they didn't convert on the 4th and 1 after a tremendous return by Carson Haney who's doing the duty.
Yeah, I didn't catch some of the numbers there, but there were some big hits there kind of as that wall was set up coming our way. I didn't see who it was, but you could see some bodies flying.
The Greenbacks have touched the ball twice, a 71-yard touchdown pass and a 52-yard touchdown run. 1st and 10 Greenbacks, this time on the Panther 30-yard line. 5:06 to go in quarter number 1, leading 14-0. Ball placed on the left hash. Haney in the gun, Uni to his right. Max hasn't even touched the ball yet. Haney will take the ball off to the right side, 30, 25, 20. Carson down the sideline, 10, 5, juke move, touchdown! Oh my goodness! Three plays, 3 touchdowns for the Greenbacks. Let's go!
Wow.
Unbelievable offensive execution for Pratt. 3 plays, 3 touchdowns. This time Carson Haney takes it 30 yards himself on the run.
Yeah, it's been spread out. You got Carson, Johnny, Justice. At this point, if you're a Greenback on the sideline, you're saying, my turn, when am I next?
Stops the clock, 4:56 to go in quarter number 1. Adrian Juarez set for the point after again. It's up and it's a little bit shorter, but it's good. 4:56 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0. You're tuned into Greenback football on True Country, and we're back in 60 seconds.
Woo!
Man.
Oh, we're not even. How many lines do you got on there, Austin? You got about 12 14 lines on his score sheet. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I'm kind of being honest here.
Wow.
Wow.
That's,
this is impressive showing by the Greenbacks. Or
let's go.
Yeah.
I told
hey,
you.
Let's go. Yeah. No,
I hope
no.
not. I hope it's not this easy for him.
No.
I hope it's not this easy.
All right, Greenback's going to come out again. 4:56 on the clock. We don't have this clock on the stream. Haven't figured out how to get that there yet. 4:56, 21-0. Greenback's not slowing down yet. I wonder at what point we will.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson. 4:54 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0 as Adrian Juarez boots it into the end zone for another touchback as the Greenbacks have forced 3 3-and-outs and they've had 3 offensive plays for 3 touchdowns. You heard that right. I'm not making it up. That happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, we talked about the efficiency before that last drive and they just continued it. It's like flawless at this point on both sides of the ball.
We have played just a little over half of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And Pratt's already up 21-0. Nickerson football, ball in between the hashes on their own 20-yard line going left to right. Have yet to get a first down tonight. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, and now whistles. And I think Nickerson took a timeout, and they did. 4:54 to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback football on True Country. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
I wonder what the timeout is there. What do you? curious what the
I
timeout
know,
is.
yeah. They didn't even run a play.
Yeah. God. Have you ever seen that video of that coach in Little League Baseball that goes out to the mound and is just hilarious?
Yes. Yes.
I kind of wonder if that's how their coach is right now. He's probably saying, guys, you're not the worst team in 3A, but you better hope Lions doesn't drop to 2A.
I was looking at those classifications today. I don't think they do.
Oh, boy. I can say that on here. I won't say that on the radio.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Cody Eastis, Austin McNorton here with you live from Nickerson High School. 4:54 to go in quarter number one. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0. The Panthers have yet to get a first down, and the Greenbacks have had 3 plays for 3 touchdowns. And they come out of the timeout with the football, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Going left to right, ball placed in between the hashes. 2 wide receivers to either side of Colton Morrell in the gun with it. Alaric Van Cleek behind him. Morrell will keep it himself off to the far side, trying to get to the sideline. He does. Good pickup that time of about 6 yards, and a really late flag coming from the official standing at the 50-yard line through it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Morrell went down there at the end, but we're as far away as you can be from that play, but it looked like his feet got tripped up and he fell, but that could have been a late hit. I didn't see it well enough to argue it one way or the other.
It might result in the first down of the game for Nickerson, and it does. I don't really understand how there's an official standing on the sideline looking directly at the play who doesn't make the call.
Well, I think he did. I ended up seeing 2 flags on the field there. I think they both threw it.
Okay. That makes me feel better because the first official that I saw was the one who's standing 40 yards away from the play, but it's 1st and 10 Nickerson now on their own 38-yard line. Going left to right, that's their first down of the game, and it comes at the hands of the Yellow Laundry. Morrell in the backfield, wide receiver to the far side of the formation with a fullback and a lot of movement as the tight end Gage Kelly here on the near side was a little bit too anxious to get the ball
picked
moving.
up some free yards there at the hands of the Greenbacks and going to give a few of them back right here.
If you're Nickerson right now, Cody, down by 21 after Pratt scored on 3 plays, how do you try and get this momentum now that you've got your first down?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that they've been here before, so they know how to handle it. I don't know if that's any solace or not, but they've seen this situation before. Now, whether or not they can come out and do something is yet to be seen.
Ball handed up the middle, not much there, getting back up to the 35. Decent gain.
Yeah, got a few yards into the Greenback, but then stood up and driven back about 4 yards. But they're going to give him that forward progress and make it a gain of about 2 or 3 there. Going to bring up 2nd and 12.
Seen Baird and Van Cleet get a lot of the carries, but Morrell has been the one most efficient on the ground this season coming out at the quarterback position. 76 carries, 547 yards, and 5 touchdowns for the quarterback this year on the ground. He is an athlete. Whole team told us that all of this week. 8 on the play clock. Morrell breaks the huddle with 2 wide receivers to either side, rolls to the flat, pitches it out, and Van Cleek down the sideline, 50, a big play for Nickerson into Pratt territory before Adrian Juarez makes the tackle at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, biggest play we've seen from the Panthers tonight, and Adrian had to kind of clean that up on the sideline as we missed an open field tackle there and let him turn the corner and really get about 10 more yards than what he should have.
It was a perfect pitch by Morrell at the right time to get it out to the running back, Alaric Van Cleek, and he took it down the near sideline, and Juarez made the tackle at the 46-yard line of the Greenbacks. 3:53 to go in quarter number one. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0. 1st and 10 Panthers on Pratt's 46-yard line, going left to right. Trips to the near side, a wide receiver to the far side. Morrell looking to throw, has time, setting up the screen to the flat, and oh my goodness! What an unbelievable hit!
That looked like Johnny, 22. I didn't know Johnny was playing tonight.
Johnny
He just made himself known.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable hit
writing
just
that
taken
one
by
down.
Van Cleek. Van Cleek was the man for the running back screen. Martinez read it the entire way, beat the blockers, and crushed Van Cleek before he could even catch the football. They said it was an incomplete pass. That's how hard Johnny hit him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't know how someone's going to hang on to
Wow.
that ball with what Johnny just did there. The trouble with that for Nickerson was that screen pass was so high and so loud, and that running back had to wait for it and gave the Greenbacks and Johnny plenty of time to see what was coming and get ahead of steam.
Van Cleek behind Morrell in the gun, 2 wide receivers to either side, and now a whistle. And Did not see a flag, but it's a delay of game. I wasn't even, wow. Nickerson wasn't paying attention to the play clock, and neither was I. I had no clue.
I didn't know they were getting that close to it.
Well, that moves the Panthers back inside their own territory now at the 49-yard line of the Panthers. 3:47 to go in the first. Same exact formation. Baird comes in motion. Morrell will take it out to the left side looking to throw. Now under pressure, has to scramble. He has nowhere to go, and he's brought down in the backfield. Another Ag-Astra sack for the Greenbacks. And it looked like that time, was it James Baker back there?
I didn't see who was back there, but he was getting chased down by a couple of Greenbacks. One kind of overran him and then waited for him to spin and come back to him.
That's the third sack of the season for James Baker and the second Ag-Astra sack of the ball game for the Greenbacks. And that penalty really hurts the Panthers on the delay of game. It's now 3rd and 20. Nickerson back on their own 44-yard line. They need to get to the Greenback 36 to keep the drive alive. Morrell looking to throw, has time, throws across the middle, wide open. Ball goes in and out of the hands of a couple. It goes in and out of the hands of Pratt and the wide receiver there for Nickerson, Mario Ortiz.
Yeah, Nickerson, you got to send the punt unit out. It's 4th and too long to even think about going for it with the field position they've got. So Greenback's going to get the ball back, and this time looks like Johnny Martinez back there deep, saying he wants to get his hands on the ball and see what he can do with it.
And Colt Morrell comes to the sideline and sits down and tries to stretch it out. He's been working pretty hard. That was the longest drive of the game for the Panthers. It's a good high punt. Martinez waits on it, catches it at the 30. Martinez will take it to the far side of the field, 50. Martinez still fighting through, and he's cut down in Panther territory at the 43-yard line. What a return.
Right about where the marker was from where they snapped that ball. I don't even know if the one running the sticks over there had to move.
No, that's back-to-back times now for Nickerson. They've punted the football, and Pratt took it back where the line of scrimmage was.
Yeah, really, not much change of field position either time.
How often do you see that? First of all, that's one of the craziest instances you can ever even dream of happening. 1st and 10 Greenbacks on the Panther 43-yard line, 2:48 to go in the first quarter. They have 3 plays and 3 touchdowns. Martinez will take it off to the far side, and he has room, breaks out of a tackle and cut down at the 28-yard line. That's the first time tonight that Pratt has not scored on the first play of the drive.
And he wanted it too. You could see Johnny hop that guy and tried to stay on his feet because he wanted to go 4 for 4 there for the Greenbacks on the touchdown. Just couldn't keep his feet.
It's still an incredible batting average right now for the Greenbacks.
Oh, yeah.
4 plays, 3 touchdowns, and now it's 1st and 10 Greenbacks on the Panther 28-yard line. 2:20 to go in quarter number 1. Hamey in the backfield. Max Uni standing to his left. We haven't even called Max's name, as Hamey will take it up to the 20 and the 19-yard line, a pickup of 9 on first down.
Yeah, the Greenbacks, 2 play. We feel like they're stalling a little bit here because it's taken them 2 plays and they haven't gotten the end zone yet.
We are spoiled.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's what we are. Cody and I are spoiled broadcasters.
We're gonna have to get pretty creative up here if the pace keeps up.
This does not happen. 1:50 to go in the first quarter. Pratt 21, Nickerson 0. 2nd and 1 Greenbacks on the Panther 20. Man goes in motion. Hamey in the backfield, all alone, looking to throw. He'll throw towards the pylon, and it is in and out of the hands of the intended target here on the near sideline. That was a tremendous throw by Hamey.
It was, and I thought it was at Carson, the intended target there. You could hear some some of the Nickerson crowd here. You could hear him, and I thought I saw it too. A little bit of push off there from Carson as he tried to get some extension and some separation there before he went up for that ball. But
Carson
no
Hamey,
flag.
He only has 1 catch as a wide receiver all season. That was an incredible throw by Max Uni back there, trying to get a touchdown. And now Max will hand it off to Drake Van Scoik, his longest run of the year, as he takes it up to the 8-yard line on 3rd and 1.
That was a lot of human carrying that ball going downfield.
Oh my goodness. The 6'2", 280-pound senior on 3rd and 1 takes it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal Pratt. And you know what I love about that, Cody? The entire Panther crowd here on this south sideline goes, whoa,
Yeah.
Who's this kid getting the football? That's just a new dynamic part of the offense. That's Drake Van Scoik's first time he's touched the football this season without scoring.
That's right.
That was from 19 yards out, though. That would have been impressive. The last 2 have been from 2 yards out. Hamey the ball Oh, it's the ghost
That
play
was
up
the
the
ghost
middle.
play.
Then it's a touchdown.
That time
touchdown
it was
Greenbacks.
We called it a couple times last week, and Brent said that wasn't the ghost play. We weren't running them at that time. I'm almost 98% sure that was the ghost play.
Now, I didn't even see who got the football.
I didn't either.
Who had the football on that run? Anyone's guess is as good as mine. That was unbelievable. I don't know who had it. I don't know who had the football, but the Greenbacks score. 54 seconds to go in the first quarter. Pratt leading 27-0 with Adrian Juarez set for his 4th point after attempt. And the ball is fumbled as Haney didn't get the snap. And so the point after is no good.
It looked like the snap kind of caught him off guard there.
Yeah, it didn't look like Haney was really ready for it, and so he had to pull it out looking to throw, but no one was going out for a route. 54 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Pratt 27, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country. We're back in 60 seconds. I have no idea who
I don't know who got the ball there.
If anyone saw who got that football, let us know, because I have no clue. You know what number ran it? I had no idea who it was. I couldn't see the number. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody East is here with you live from Nickerson. 54 seconds to go in quarter number 1, and Adrian Juarez's kick this time goes out of bounds. Pratt 27, Nickerson 0. Panthers will get the football in good field position now, but the Greenbacks 4 for 4, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is, what do we got? What'd you say, 54 seconds left in the first quarter? Boy. The running clock doesn't happen until the second half, but at this point you start wondering, when are we going to get to that 35? But with the rules, it doesn't matter how fast you get there in the first half. The running clock will not take effect until the second half, so we could have another quarter of this, Austin, and see quite a few points on the board before we get to halftime.
And the Greenbacks scored on the infamous ghost play,
they did.
Which, I mean, true to it, Cody and I still to this day don't know who scored the touchdown on that, what was it, an 8-yard run?
Yeah.
Incredible. Morrell will hand it up the middle this time to Van Cleek, and he's cut down once again at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And they will have to run one more play, as there's a 5-second difference between the play clock and game clock here in quarter number 1.
And if you're watching the stream, either one, I guess, you do have the luxury of going back and rewinding and seeing who scored on that ghost play, because, we didn't see it.
Let us know if you can, if you're watching.
It's still just as tricky a season later as the last time we saw it.
We thank everyone for tuning in all season long. This is our final road game of the regular season. And coming up to start quarter number 2, I'll take a look and see if I can find the Hugetts and Holcomb score and give you a report starting out in quarter number 2. There's 9 seconds left, 2 seconds on the play clock. I don't know if Nickerson's going to get it off. And they won't. No. That's a delay of game penalty again, and that's their second delay of game penalty again. And that was odd, Cody, because it seemed like, and exactly as I said, a 4-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So that will be the end of quarter number 1 with the 5-yard penalty. After 12 minutes of football, it's Pratt 27, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. That was odd.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just not wanting to run a play.
It seemed like they almost just wanted to take it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there to end the quarter. Second delay of game, though, kind of odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we're going to take a break here, too, on the stream, so we'll be back when we come back with the first quarter. Second quarter.
Quarter number 2 begins here in Nickerson. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live. 2nd and 15 Panthers. A good pitch by Morrell out to the far sideline, but cut down after a short gain of about 1 up to the 31-yard line. 11:50 to go in the half. Pratt leading 27-0 as Pratt scored on 3 plays, and then on their 4th drive, they punched it in from 8 yards out on the infamous ghost play. An incredible quarter.
Yeah, and a big collision there on the far side from us, Austin, as they ran the option. Quarterback took a hit as he pitched it, but Grayson Mandel and that running back meet right at the line of scrimmage, and a big stop by Grayson there. Actually, a loss of, well, maybe that was from the previous
Gain of
spots.
1,
Gain of 1 there, but still
5-yard
behind the
penalty,
sticks,
right.
yeah.
3rd and 14 Nickerson on their own 31-yard line, now going right to left on their radio dial. 11:15 to go. Morrell fakes the handoff up the middle, now throws wide open down the sideline. It's caught 50, 45-40, 35-30, breaking out of tackles into Greenback territory at the 31-yard line. What a play for Nickerson.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Holton, you're not going to be happy seeing that. And honestly, a game like this is sometimes tough to coach. You're up by 27. Your starters are still in there, so they start to take a little more chances just knowing they've got that big a spread to work with. But total blown coverage there by the Greenbacks as they kind of bid on that option and came up, and quarterback kept the ball, decided to throw it. Greenbacks beat deep there for a big gain for Nickerson.
That has been a problem for the Greenbacks this season. 3rd and long, 4th and 1, 4th and long, I should say. They've had some of those big plays have happened. Morrell will keep it going to the near sideline on the carry, tracked down and cut down right at the line of scrimmage. Ball came out at the last second. Pratt might have jumped on it. Oh, they say it goes out of bounds, and it will remain Nickerson football.
Man, Pratt got a hand on it as we were going out of bounds, but just not able to come up with possession there. That would have been a big turnover after that big play from Nickerson for the Greenbacks.
The ball came out at the absolute last second, and this is an opportunity. Thanks so much to head coach Chris Batten for the score updates. Holcomb leading Hugoton right now 21-0. Scott City is leading Goodland 20-0. And Andale over Cheney 12-0.
12-0.
Surprisingly close game
That
there
is a respectable score.
in Andale. Cheney hanging
Good to
in.
see.
2nd and 11 Nickerson from their own 22-yard line, thrown out to the flat, and it's batted down. Good defense, good pass coverage out there in the flat. Another 3rd and long here for Nickerson, 10:24 to go in quarter number 2.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of confusion there between Colton Morrell and Mario Ortiz as he threw that ball, and I think he was expecting Ortiz to be looking for that ball, and Ortiz was running more of a wheel route and didn't turn back and even see that ball coming his way.
3rd and 11 Nickerson on the Greenback 22-yard line, going right to left. Obvious 4-down territory here, so the Panthers at least trying to get 5 or 6 here on this 3rd and 11. 2 wide receivers to either side. It's Van Cleek in the backfield. Morrell immediately under pressure, rolls to the left, throws towards the end zone. It won't get towards the goal line. Good coverage by Carson Hamey in the backfield, and good pressure by Keyrell Thompson on the blitz. So 4th and 11,
now we're
obvious
gonna see
4-down
it.
territory.
Yeah. I believe I did get some confirmation on that ghost play. I'm hearing it was Adam Uni that scored on that ghost play.
That's
So,
Adam's first touchdown of the season from 8 yards out.
It's like an Oprah show. It's like, you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown.
That's his first touchdown of the entire season, and it comes in the second to last regular season game.
Well, we'll see what they can draw up here on 4th and 10, Austin. See if they can move the chains and keep this drive going.
10:18 to go. Morrell rolls out to the right, pitches it in the backfield, breaking out of one, but cut down. Nice job by the Greenbacks to rally to the football, make a tackle in the backfield, and they force the turnover on downs.
Yeah, the Greenbacks read the option perfectly there that time as they've ran it, I'd say semi-successfully a couple times tonight, but that time on 4th and 10, Greenbacks knew what to look for and knew how to play it, played it well there.
Greenbacks will have it for the deepest they've started with the football now. Back on their own 26-yard line. They'll be going left to right. 10-11 to go in the second quarter, leading 27-0. Martinez, Uni, and Hamey in the backfield. Max will get the ball. He'll take it off to the far side. Biggest run of the day for Max Uni, 50. Max Uni down the sideline, 40, 35, 30. Max Uni, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Greenbacks. A huge, huge play of 73 yards.
You know, I about said it. You said this is the longest field position the Greenbacks have had to work with, and I was just thinking, well, that just means it's going to be a big run for somebody and time to put some stats on the board. And sure enough, Max says, oh, hey, I'll take it.
Max Uni with his 10th touchdown carry of the season. That one might be his biggest, 73 yards.
Big run there by Max. That's going to move it to 33-0 there with the extra point coming up.
5 different Greenbacks have now gotten into the end zone as Pratt leads 33-0. This time Juarez's kick has no problems, and he hit the fence.
Almost cleared the banners on the fence there.
9:58 to go in quarter number 2. It's Pratt 34, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback football on True Country. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Cody Eastis coming to you live from Nickerson High School. 9:58 to go in quarter number 2. Pratt 34, Nickerson 0 as Juarez's kick goes into the end zone for the touchback. And Cody, just talk about what an incredible start this has been for the Greenbacks offensively.
Oh, we've said it multiple times. You can't get any more efficient than this. You know, they were batting 1,000 at one point, almost 4 for 4. And defensively looking great with the exception of one play that we got caught on for a big play for Nickerson. But other than that, 34 points early to go in the second quarter. This is kind of what you hoped would happen, and now it's kind of like, what do you do from here? And, you know, and us too.
The Greenbacks, on 5 of their touchdowns, 4 of them have come on one play in the drive. A 73-yard run, a 71-yard pass, a 52-yard run, and a 30-yard run. Morrell hands it up the middle once again to his tailback, and that's Van Cleek. A short gain, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and once again, that's about it.
Yeah, and it still looks like the starting squad out there for the Greenbacks. You know, you might see Nickerson be able to move the ball a little bit, maybe once some personnel gets changed on the Greenbacks, so we get some of those younger kids in there. But that's not the case right now, so I don't expect much difference in what we've seen through this first quarter so far.
Right, the Panthers put up 18 points against the Greenbacks last year. That was at Zerger Field. 2nd and 10, Panthers, 9:22 to go in quarter number 2. Ball's on their own 20-yard line going right to left, 15 on the play clock. Man goes in motion, and that probably draws a flag with all that movement before the snap.
They're lucky that did draw a flag because that ball got snapped and hit the ground and was all over there at the line of scrimmage as the Greenbacks were trying to jump on it.
Oh, yeah, it is a false start as there was just too many guys moving, and they didn't quite get set in time before the ball got snapped by London Lafayette, the senior.
Yeah, Nickerson just not doing themselves any favors here. You know, they're always working with 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 15. So even if they were able to do something, get some positive yards, they seem to just take themselves right back out of it.
2 wide receivers to either side. Now a man goes in motion, same formation. Morrell pitches out to the flat. The ball's on the ground. The Greenbacks were fight for the loose football. Who got it? Honestly, I think Nickerson got the football.
I think they did. Carson Haney tried to get the scoop and score, and he missed it.
Oh, the Greenbacks got it.
The Greenbacks
I don't know how.
I thought he overran it, and the Nickerson player was able to slide in there and get it, but not so fast. The Greenbacks come on top of that ball.
You saw exactly what I saw. Carson Haney tried to scoop and score that football, but that is the 6th fumble recovery of the season for the Greenbacks, and they now have it 1st and goal on the Panthers' 7-yard line going left to right.
And really just an errant pitch there by the Nickerson quarterback. Wasn't really looking to see where he was going or not quite on the same page as the running back, and that pitch got on the ground, and I thought Carson was going to have one of those perfect bounces, scoop and score. Hey, we were 3 for 3. Not everything can go our way, right?
He almost tried to get a defensive score, but now we'll see if the Greenbacks can punch it in again. Haney in the backfield, Uni to his left. Carson will get it. He'll roll out to the left and pitch it out to the flat. Martinez has a lot of ground to make up, and he gets back to trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Lost about 3 yards to the 10-yard line.
A little
It's
different.
one of the first times all season we've seen that option.
I was
play.
just going to say the same thing. A little different play than what we're used to seeing from the Greenbacks. So we've seen that option a lot on the other side of the ball tonight from Nickerson, but I can't recall a time so far this season that we've seen Pratt run it. And at this point in the game, maybe you're testing out a couple new things before you get your starters off the field, see what works, what doesn't work, and kind of test them out with some live fire action going on.
A loss of 2 that time for Pratt. 2nd and goal, Greenbacks from the Panther 9-yard line. 8:05 to go in quarter number 2. Pratt leading 34-0. Wide receiver to either side, Uni in the backfield. It looks like it's Haney here to the near side. Uni's looking to throw it his way towards the goal line. Haney catches it. Touchdown Greenbacks. Carson Haney's first touchdown reception of the season from 9 yards out.
And a perfect throw on about the 5-yard cut slant route there by
Right.
Carson, and a beautifully thrown ball right where it had to be.
That is the first time, and you know, without J.R. Johnson, we know he's not available tonight. Carson Hamey kind of becomes the quarterback and the wide receiver. That time he's the wide receiver. And I saw it right when he came out. I was like, they're looking to throw it. The last time he made that move, they threw it towards the end zone, and the kick is up and good. We'll keep it right here to kind of finish my thought. 7:52 to go in quarter number 2. It's Pratt 41, Nickerson 0. But Cody, like I was saying, right when Carson came out, the last time he did that, they threw it his way towards the end zone. He couldn't come up with it. This time it's a 9-yard touchdown.
Yeah, perfectly thrown ball. Like I said earlier, I mean, Max had a nice 3-step drop, looked for Carson, knew he'd be open on that slant route, and put it right where it had to be. And Carson with a nice grab.
7:52 to go in quarter number 2, and Nickerson, after the first turnover of the game for the Panthers, recovered by Pratt. How does their offense get back into this ballgame, Coach?
I'm sure you're not the only one wondering that, Austin. I don't have an answer for you. I'm not sure what I'd tell them or what I'd tell you here, other than you just hoping, okay, we're at the 41-0 point mark. You hope to see the personnel change come quick, and then maybe you can start doing something against kind of that younger, less experienced squad of the Greenbacks.
That is the 5th touchdown pass by Max Uni. It's the 2nd reception for Carson Hamey, who now has 17 yards to his total this year, and it is his first touchdown catch.
And that's surprising. Again, as much as we call his name and as big an impact player as he is kind of in all facets of the game, you'd think at this point in the season he would have caught one by now.
His stats now this year, he has 4 touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs, and a touchdown reception.
Wow.
Carson Hamey. How about that? Trying to catch up to Max, who has a touchdown in every statistical category as well. Hamey also has a pick 6, so he has the edge on Max on the defensive side of things. As Max has 4 touchdowns through the air, a touchdown with a reception, and 10 touchdowns on the ground. 11 touchdowns on the ground. Oh, not 10.
10. Are you adding tonight's touchdowns
Yes,
on there?
10,
Okay.
10
That's
is
including tonight.
the one I'm adding
Okay.
tonight. Yes, yes. Again, thanks so much to Carl Rated back in the studio. Thank you all for listening here on True Country 1290, 96.7. Cody and I love doing these games. We like these road games. Too, we like kind of hanging out with the opposing fans, as odd as that sounds a lot of the times. But this homecoming crowd in Nickerson, a little bit quiet now as they'll hand it up the middle of this time, and a whole bunch of Greenbacks are there. I don't know. What do you say a multitude of Greenbacks are? What do you call that?
I don't know. I bet
Frogs are kinda
I was going to say, I bet
together,
Simon's
right?
out there listening that can tell me what a group of frogs is. Yeah, I'll be
I've
curious
never
what
had
I
to
get back
address
from
that
him
before.
there. I don't know what you call a multiple gathering of frogs.
We're getting creative up here in the booth. A loss of 1 by Van Cleek in the backfield. 2nd and 11 Panthers on their own 19-yard line. Clock continues to run down to 7:20 to go here in quarter number 2 as the Panthers break the huddle. Morrell just trying to get this offense moving. And you love the competitiveness of the quarterback, and we've said his name a lot, this senior, here on their final home game of the year. They'll hand it up the middle, and again, Van Cleek has nowhere to go. A gain of 2. It's 3rd and long again for Nickerson.
Yeah, another tough set of chains to face. You know, back in your own territory, down 41 points, and knowing that we got to pick up 8 yards here, we're going to be forced to punt again and have that Greenback offense back out on the field.
The Greenbacks on their 6 bad at math, 7 times, 6 touchdowns. They've scored 5 on 5 plays.
Wow.
Or no, that's not right, because they scored on the 2
They
plays
scored
last
on-
drive,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm just bad at math all the way around.
No, there's so many touchdowns, it's hard to keep track of them at this point.
I even have a little cheat sheet here, and I just don't know how to use it.
I'll bet it's because you can't read your own writing.
That is 1,000% the case. 5 seconds on the play clock. Morrell throws it out to the flat. Had a man open, but it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Brock Bourgeois. Nice heads-up play by the defensive line for the Greenbacks.
Yeah, and if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. You see it all the time in, in college and NFL. So many balls are batted. Those guys know when to get their hands up, and good job to see Brock apply some of that here. Get that hand up. If you know you can't get to the quarterback, and like Coach Holtig told us, he's got some of the biggest hands on the team.
Yeah, he's told us that a number of times. Carson Hamey comes back for the punt, stands at the 50-yard line. A lot of movement, no pressure, a good high punt again. Hamey will catch it at the 46-yard line and take it to the far side of the field, 45-40. Hamey has a lot of room, 30. Takes it to the 25-yard line, and there is a flag thrown, but Hamey is thrown out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Another great return, but we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, a couple flags in a couple different spots there. I didn't see the one on the backside here, but on the far side of the field, we might have had a block in the back there by Grayson Mandel. Mandel, we'll see what they call.
The snap looked kind of odd from the get-go, and I wonder if there was a flag thrown kind of at the snap, because there were a lot of people moving, it seemed like to me, that maybe shouldn't have been. I'm not sure, but we'll see what the call is here. The clock stops, 6:04 to go. There is a foul on each team, so we might punt it again here as those penalties might offset. Yeah,
so they will offset.
I like how the official here is mic'd. Honestly, Nickerson, they've had kind of a struggling year here, but incredible facilities. They got the ref mic'd up, which I love. Incredible press box here. We know how well their basketball facilities are.
New track,
like
too. I believe this is a new track.
Nice new blue track.
I think they were
love it.
trying to get turf field, too. They just came short of maybe raising the money for that. But when we were over here a few weeks ago for 8th grade, 7th grade ball games, somebody was saying that with all these upgrades, turf field was in the works, but didn't quite make that happen. Everything else looks great.
Nice. 6:04 to go here in quarter number 2. Pratt 41, Nickerson 0. We'll punt it again on 4th and 8 here for the Panthers. And you wonder if Carson will go back and return it again after such a long one that he just had.
Yeah, we'll see if it doesn't look like we're sending anybody back. Maybe we're waiting to see what kind of formation Nickerson's going to come out with. Now it looks like Grayson's going to drop back now for the Greenbacks.
Grayson Mandel will drop back to the 50-yard line to return the punt. High snap, good catch. A really high punt, a really high skying punt. Greenbacks have to get away from it, and the Panthers get it. I don't know if it bounced off the Greenbacks or not.
I think it did. I think
thought
that bounced
it
off
did,
of
but
Adrian
I don't
Juarez.
think the officials saw it.
Oh, and I don't hear the Nickerson sideline really going crazy about it, but I thought that ball took one hop right into the back of Adrian.
I thought for sure it hit off the back of Juarez. Nobody saw it. It even looked like the kid who recovered the football for Nickerson, that's number 3, Skylar Wakefield, got up and put his hands up like, wait a minute, didn't that touch somebody?
Yeah.
It was like, I thought for sure it hit a Greenback. I guess not.
But normally you see that and you hear the crowd go wild, and I don't think anybody here saw it either.
I don't think anybody really realized it except for Skylar Wakefield, who came up with the football and said, wait a minute, shouldn't that be our football? Well, 1st and 10 Greenbacks on the Panther 42-yard line going left to right. 5:54 to go in quarter number 2. The direct snap will go to Hamey up the middle. Carson fights forward. Following Greenbacks, the pile continues to push up past the 35 near a first down. We'll see where they'll spot it.
Boy, and again there, the ball came out there, Austin, but I think they might have had him marked down, but Nickerson come up holding that ball.
Ball is taken up to the Panther 33-yard line. That's right at the sticks, and they say first down. Needed 10 yards, got 10 exactly, did Carson Hamey. 1st and 10 Greenbacks on the Panther 32-yard line, going left to right. Ball in between the hashes. 5:40 to go here in quarter number 2 with a 41-0 Greenback lead. Hamey in the backfield. He'll take it on the spinner back series to the far side, breaks out of 1 tackle, 2, and then flipped end over end at the 20-yard line, but another gain of 15.
Yeah, good to see the kids still running hard. I mean, they're still trying to get in the end zone. This half's not over, and they know they've probably got a limited time left before Coach Holting swaps them out for that younger group. So they're going to see if they can get one more in the end zone here, I think, before that personnel change happens.
I love it. It's 1st and 10 as the Greenbacks. I think this is the first time we've said the BTI green zone. all night long, as a lot of the plays have come from a lot farther out. 1st and 10, Greenbacks on the Panther 20 exactly. 5:08 to go in quarter number 2, leading 41-0. Ball in between the hashes. Direct snap will go to Uni this time. He'll take it up the middle, finds a cutting lane as he's so patient with his carries. Takes it up near the 10 for about a gain of 9.5. We'll see where they spot. They might have given him 10.
Let's see if they're waiting to see where they spot that ball up before they decide to move the chains, and going to be right at him. Going to be, real
about
short
half a
second,
yard,
half
right.
a yard.
Knocking on the door of the 10-yard line, 4:38 to go in quarter number 2, 41-0 lead for the Greenbacks, still with their starters in the ball game. As we have a couple of score updates that we'll look at, thanks to Chris Batten. Ball will be snapped directly to Uni. He'll throw out to the flat. It's caught out there. 10-5, breaking out of tackles. Touchdown, Greenbacks. Another touchdown pass for Max Uni, this time from 10 yards out.
Who got that? Was that 12? Was that Justice Tatro?
Looked like
again?
Tatro
For the
again.
Second touchdown of the night for him. So Justice having a big night.
It's his 3rd touchdown of the season, and it's another beautiful pass from Max Uni as Tatro faked the block, setting up the run, and then he just kind of sneaked his way out to the flat, found himself open, a nice juke move, and he's into the end zone.
Yeah, I thought that ball maybe a bit underthrown where he kind of had to stop his
Right.
momentum and then get going, but Justice able to really get it going and get upfield.
Juarez's kick is up and good, and that one hit the fence again. 4:18 to go in quarter number 2. Pratt 48, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
All right, we're going to take another break here too as well. Army of Frogs. We did Army. It's an army of frogs. Thank you to
now?
An army of frogs. We are still live.
Love that.
See if
That's
I can
amazing.
flash that on the screen there. Oh, and I thought that might put that up there. So, yeah, Kenny Tatro out there listening and watching the YouTube stream. Thank you, Kenny. Army of Frogs. All right, we're going to have to use that when we get back on air.
Love that.
Army of Frogs. I didn't know that. I like that, though.
I
that sounds
love it.
tough.
It does.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought a group of frogs would sound tough?
sound
But
tough?
you call them
I
an
just
army.
read my mind.
All of a sudden.
I can't keep up with my Twitter.
Yeah, you're going to be on there a lot. All right, let's get back. We'll see.
Mercy running clock roll.
35, but it's got to be the
35 in the
second
second
half.
half.
Yeah, got to be the second half.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. 4:18 to go in quarter number 2. It's Pratt 48, Nickerson 0, and Adrian Juarez's kick again goes into the end zone. And Cody, it's been an impressive first half for the Greenbacks.
Yeah, and just back to that kick there, with the exception of that first one that was a bit of a line drive, Adrian, a good night kicking the ball into the end zone. Every one we've seen from that first one.
Right.
And at this point, his leg might be getting tired, either tired or warmed up, one of the two.
He has converted every point after attempt he's been able to kick. One of them was a fumbled snap, and then he's hit the end zone, I think, every time but one you said? Is that
Yeah.
what you said? That's incredible.
Yeah.
He's
If my memory serves
the
me
fatigue's
correct,
got to
which-
set in for the kicker a little bit,
All
right?
right?
Greenbacks lead it 48-0. It's been a pretty impressive offense and defensive showing here against the 1-5 Panthers. Morrell will hand it up the middle, and now breaking out of several tackles, getting towards the near sideline. A big run for Nickerson. That time on the carry, Colton kept it himself. I thought he handed it off, but he kept it himself up the middle. A big gain of about 18 up to the 38-yard line.
And one of the bigger gains we've seen from the Nickerson offense, other than that one pass play that caught us off guard, that's probably their second biggest play of the night.
Morrell is the best ball carrier. Oh, that's that kick.
He's athletic, I'm telling you.
He
Yeah,
is.
he's athletic. He can make some plays, and I think we'll see some more before the night's over come from him.
He stepped out of bounds, so the clock stops. 4:07 to go in quarter number 2. Pratt leading 48-0. 1st and 10 Panthers on their own 38-yard line. Going right to left on your radio dial. Morrell in the backfield, 2 backs behind him and 2 wide receivers to the right side. Ball will be handed up the middle this time, breaking out of a couple tackles. A decent carry of about 4 that time.
Tackled by an army of greenbacks there,
it is,
Austin.
Cody.
We
Oh
got
my
confirmation.
gosh, he used it.
For those of you listening on the radio, A group of green frogs is called an army of frogs.
I think that is just
How did it take
fantastic
us
for such
8 weeks, 7 weeks into the season before we learned that?
Shoot, we didn't say. I don't think we said it once all year
No,
last year either.
no.
How's that possible? 2nd and 7, Panthers. They'll hand it up the middle again. This time to Jace Byard. It's another good carry again for Jace as he gets about 4 more. It'll be 3rd and 1. He might have gotten the first down at the 48-yard line. Is where they spot the football. That's a first down, Nickerson.
Well, there we go. We haven't said that a whole lot tonight. So
Back-to-back first downs for the Panthers. I think that is the first time we've said that all night. Back-to-back. One of them was on a penalty. They got a first down then. One was a big play, and they didn't get a first down after that. So that's back-to-back first downs with offensive plays for Nickerson.
and if you're Nickerson now, you've got to do something with that.
3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They have 2 timeouts to work with and ball on their own 48-yard line. 3 backs with Morrell in the gun. Colton will roll to his right, looking to throw. Now steps up, looking to run. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. As Adrian Juarez was kind of the quarterback spy and made a tackle right at the 50.
Yeah, he was kind of just waiting to see where he was going to go, and once he chose to come up the middle, Adrian was there waiting for him.
Gain of 2 for Morrell. He does that a lot on some of those pass plays. He'll decide to scramble at the last second, picks up 2 to the 50-yard line, ball right in between the hashes. No logo here on the grass field in Nickerson, or else that's where it would be. 2:20 to go in the half. 3 backs with, again, Morrell in the gun and a wide receiver to the right side of the formation. Morrell will take it on the quarterback design run and gets to the line of scrimmage. That's it. An army of greenbacks there led by Keyrell Thompson are there for the tackle.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, now we're gonna overuse it. Yeah, Keyrell there, Noah Riley, a host of them there took him down with no gain.
And how impressive is it, Cody? You know, there's been a lot of defensive subs, especially in this week, with Noah Riley getting a lot of playing action. Mandel moved to a new position. Tay Wilson at the safety spot. How impressive have they been here tonight?
Oh, yeah, they've played great. And that's what, if you're Coach Holting, that's what you needed them to do. You ask them to step up, fill some spots with some players that are injured, and they've come in and done a great job.
Morrell rolls to the right, looking to run. He'll be about a yard short. Oh, boy, I think that official gave him the first down.
Yeah, that's a pretty favorable spot.
Wow. He got the first down exactly. Needed the 43. He stepped out at the 44.
Oh, looking at that center official.
Boy, I don't know.
Boy, the lines look crooked.
I think they do too. Well, I guess he needed the 42. Based on where we're sitting, it looked like. Did you see the same thing?
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Okay.
I thought looking at the official on our sideline, that was going to be a first jet down by about a foot or so. Then they threw it back to midfield, and it went back about a yard.
There's a big 4th and 1 here for both teams. Morrell in the backfield, 4th and 1 on the greenback 43. Morrell will roll to the right, looking to throw on 4th and 1 to go. Has a man open, and it's just outside the outstretched reach of Skylar Wakefield. On 4th and 1, the Panthers decide to throw it downfield, and they turn it over on down.
Well, and you weren't wrong, though. They did have a guy open. The ball was just thrown a little too far where he didn't have a shot out of it. Had that ball been put where it needed to be, that would have been a big pickup for Nickerson and kept the drive moving.
Morrell hasn't thrown the ball great this year, coming into tonight 8 for 20 with 110 yards and a touchdown and an interception. That time on 4th and 1, they decided to throw it deep downfield and can't complete. So now the Greenbacks have 89 seconds and 3 timeouts to try and score another headed into the halftime locker room.
It might be how many times can we score?
Oh my goodness. Wow. In the backfield, Hamey and Uni. Hamey will take it himself off to the far side of the formation being chased. Carson cuts it up the middle into Panther territory to the 48-yard line, a gain of 9 on first down for Carson.
Let's see, does it look like we're going to use any of those timeouts? There's a clock still runs, so it doesn't look like Coach Holting's going to really press the issue here to try to get into the end zone.
2nd and 9 Greenbacks on the Panther 48-yard line. There is 1 minute exactly remaining here in the first half as Pratt leads 48-0. In the backfield, Hamey with Uni to his left. Max will take the snap up the middle, finding Ford 40, 35, and it's a first down, but the Greenbacks are stopped there, and you wonder once again if Holting will use the timeouts. We have seen Adrian Juarez kick a last-second field goal, and the clock is now stopped for a Panther injured down on the grass.
Yeah, so whether Holting was going to use that timeout or not, he's going to get one here as they tend to that injured player.
This will be our first Gatlin Medical Arts Pharmacy injury update as a Panther is down on the grass. 47 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Pratt leading 48-0, 47 seconds to go in quarter number 2. It's the Gatlin Medical Arts Pharmacy injury update. Go talk to Michelle and Terry at the Medical Arts Pharmacy in Pratt. Great service for all your pharmaceutical needs. 1st and 10 Greenbacks. The ball will be placed on the far left hash on the 35-yard line. The Greenbacks have all 3 of their timeouts, 47 seconds left. However, they lead 48-0, so you wonder, you probably could take your 3 timeouts. You probably could get at least a field goal. We know how great Adrian Warris has been this year. But do you push the issue? Do you want to go up by 50 at the halftime?
I don't think you push the issue here. I think that, in any other game, you're thinking you got 47 seconds left, 3 timeouts in your pocket. Yeah, you're going to use them. You're going to try to score here. But I think the way that this game's going and the way that, it's probably going to continue to go, if you go into the halftime with just this lead of, 48, you're not really trying to get that touchdown. If it comes, it comes, but I don't think you're going to use those timeouts and really try to make sure you score before half here.
And you also could say it's potentially one of those situations where, you say, well, this is an opportunity to practice these situations where there's only a couple seconds left. You have 3 timeouts. You're in scoring range. However, the Greenbacks have proven that they can do that this season already. So it's not one of those scenarios where you're saying, well, we practice these situations. They've already done these situations.
Right. Yeah. So, I'll be curious to see kind of how we come out of this, especially after an injury timeout like this. Especially, I'm not sure the status of the player down there for Nickerson, but you hate to come out and be like, all right, now we're going to try to score real quick on you. And Coach Olting's not the type of coach to do that.
Looks like a pretty serious injury, too, as both athletic directors are out on the field. You see Alex Nuss and you also see head coach Taylor Bauman and Brent Holting both go out there to check on the injured Panther. We saw a person walk from the ambulance out onto the field as well to get checked on the player. So thoughts and prayers. I can't see who it's down on the field for Nickerson, but I think we're going to step aside. You're tuned into the Gatlin Medical Arts Pharmacy injury update. 47 seconds to go in quarter number 2 is Pratt 48, Nickerson 0. We'll be back in, let's say 60 seconds.
We are going to take a break in here, too, while we see what's going on here.
I love the graphics.
Yeah, we'll throw that up so people know what's going on, and let me get these mics.
If he's still down, we'll come back and
Yeah.
just. On the Panthers' 35-yard line after the injury timeout. Hamey will hand it off to the flat to Noah Riley, who gets a carry, and he'll take it up to the 30-yard line. Not much there on the carry for Noah, who that is his 2nd carry of the season, who he now has 7 yards to his season total.
And Pratt is going to hurry up and get to the line here. Not going to use the timeout, but aren't going to waste any time either as they try to get set and get a playoff here.
Hamey in the backfield, Uni to his left. Carson gets the snap. He'll roll out to the left now, cut it up the field. He has a lot of room to run up the middle. Carson now cuts it to the near side. 10, 5, touchdown. Carson Hamey juking and jiving is into the end zone from 30 yards out.
Boy, nice play. Like I said, I don't think we were going to force the issue, but if it came, you know, you can't do anything about it there. And a great run there by Carson to probably most likely in this half.
Carson
54-0 at this point.
Carson Hamey playing the old school Frogger video game, just jumping in between logs, between Panthers, on his way into the end zone. 11 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Pratt 54, Nickerson 0. Adrian Juarez will be set for the point after attempt as a Greenback runs on late to snap the football and get lined up. Snaps good, holds good, kick is on the way, and it is perfect again, and that one nearly hit the fence again. 11 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Pratt 55, Nickerson 0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country, and we will be back in 60 seconds.
Whew, Greenback scoring at will. We thought this might be like that, but I didn't know how to expect it. So we still got another half of this, Austin.
Impressive run right there.
Impressive half here. We're going to take a break on the stream, too, if you're tuning in. So we will be back here in about 30 seconds for kickoff.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Nickerson's assistant coach.
Welcome back to
that very
Nickerson
often.
High School. Austin McNorton, Cody Easton here with you live in the booth. Thanks so much to Call Radio back in the studio. Pratt 55, Nickerson 11. And it was an unsportsmanlike conduct on Nickerson after the point after.
On Nickerson,
the
assistant coach. Yeah, make sure you clarify on who that's on. I'm curious what was said or what happened. Is he still over there, or was that the head coach? Somebody's still over there talking to the white hat.
I think Taylor Bowman is out there talking to the white hat now on what the assistant might have said or what might have occurred.
I wonder what would warrant that flag.
This
Usually
will
you
be
get
interesting because Adrian Juarez will kick it now from the Nickerson 45-yard line, which I want to see if he can get it through the uprights. You know he's going to try. It's on the way. It is close, and it is, I think it's wide right, but man, it had the distance.
Wow, that had a shot at it. Holy cow. Now, I'm curious what would warrant that flag. Usually, at least speaking to officials that I know, you're going to give a warning first in that situation before you actually hit them with the flag, especially at this point in the game when it's a 55-0 ball game. If you're at a crew out there, you're not wanting to tack on any more damage to Nickerson than you absolutely have to. So kind of curious what happened there to have that flag come out.
11 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Pratt 55, Nickerson 0. Colton Morell and company will come out and try and run at least one play before the end of the half. Now a lineman runs on late. Matt Monroe comes in at the left guard spot here late. 2 wide receivers to either side. Morell in the gun. Now rolls to his right, looking to throw deep down the field. Has a man, and it is picked off! Grayson Mandel on the left side dove up in the air and caught the football. What a catch!
That was impressive. Wow. With only 3 seconds left to go in the half. You're not going to get any points off of that pick, most likely. But nonetheless, that was one of the better catches you're going to see. Wow.
Grayson Mandel, his first interception this season, and that's one of the better catches we've seen from any Greenback, both offense and defense, all year long, as he jumped up for that one and falling backwards made the catch.
Yeah, and the defender in his face, too, or an offender. He was playing defense there, but both of them went up for it there, and right through the hands with some hands in his face, and wow, great catch.
Skylar Wakefield, the wide receiver, turned into a defensive back there to try and stop it, but that's an incredible catch. 1st and 10 Greenbacks on the Panther 45-yard line. They'll have a chance to run one more play now, as they'll take it to the near sideline, and Preston Poor is thrown down right at the line of scrimmage, and that will end the first half. Well, 24 minutes of football have come and gone, and Pratt leads 55-0. You're tuned in to Greenback Football. It's time now for the Pratt City Ford halftime show. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Well done.
Woo,
That's a good half.
55-0 at half. That is a good half. Yeah, we'll stick with you a little bit during halftime here from in the booth. Don't have a whole lot of content to air during the break, so we'll see if we can come up with stuff. Probably gonna have to come up with some stuff for the second half too, as this could get this could get interesting. We'll see how we can fill some of these airwaves or some of the YouTube stream here with something fun. We do have some scores around the state we'll go over.
Yeah.
Some games that mean something to the Greenbacks, but.
Also, if you're tuning into the radio, go listen to the interview. We're talking to Erica Householter
That's
here
right.
with us, and it's a great interview. The girls' golf team made it to state, so go check that out because it's really worth it. It's really worth your time.
Yeah. How long an interview is that? Awesome.
It's about a 9-minute interview.
About a 9-minute
with her.
interview.
Yep.
So maybe we'll pull up the Greenback page too and kind of go through some of that as that's airing, so we won't be on the radio.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can come up with though. Definitely have some scores around the state. So going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with the stream in a bit.
Many of these games are accompanied by music to heighten their hilarious effect. This year, your NHS marching band is leading.
All right, if you're still tuning in to the halftime show, we're going to air last week's In the Booth vlog, give you something to watch while that interview with Coach Householder goes on. Tune into the radio. It's a good interview. They got a lot of kids going to state. But here comes last week's vlog against Smoky Valley. It was a big week, homecoming week. Enjoy. All right, homecoming week for the Greenbacks. Smoky Valley coming to town. Gonna be a big night. Pratt Jam going on. A lot of people in town. Should be a packed house. Maybe standing room only. We'll see. Heading down to watch classmate Lieutenant Colonel John Schwartz get inducted into the Greenback Hall of Fame. And then we're gonna head over to the field from there. And it is a nice night for football. Big game for the Greenbacks. Let's go.
Strike man's point, and he's in! Oh my goodness! Hanging for 3 yards out, and the Greenbacks jump out. 10, 5, Charlie Martinez, touchdown Greenbacks!
Schwartzy here, Greenback legend, Hall of Fame induction. Congrats, Schwartz. Thanks. Roll, homecoming night, big night, let's go. All right, we got Gabe up here. What do you do other than eat popcorn in the booth? Film.
Yeah.
Like you're the guy running the camera on top?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You do good work.
Thank you.
Found it. All right, let's roll. 23 minutes to kick off. Homecoming candidates getting announced now. Then we're gonna be ready to roll. We got Glenn in the booth with us tonight. Hope you're ready to be on camera, Glenn.
Minutes. Brenda Stegman and Wesley Nickerson.
All right, 2 minutes to kick off here, and the Greenbacks are gonna be underway. Pratt won the toss, deferred. Smokey elected to receive, so they're gonna get the end of Adrian Juarez's boot here. Let's roll. Double fault there. 6:10 left to go in the first quarter, and the Greenbacks are on the board after a big touchdown. The backs shooting on 4th down. Needed to get in there. That could have slowed that momentum down in a hurry. Johnny Martinez in for the touchdown. 2:31 in the first quarter. And the Greenbacks lead 14-0. Good start. Let's go. Big kick there by Adrian to end the half. 31-yard field goal. Big weapon. Good. 24-14. Going into halftime. Greenbacks get the ball coming out of half. What's up? Hey, this is who gets all the post-game interviews. So
She's got an official mic.
she's in the booth with us tonight.
Uni in the backfield. Max will take it off to the near side. Cuts upfield, 15-20. Big play for Max Uni down the sideline, 30. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. What a run.
Put them up. Fourth quarter's already here. No points that quarter. 24-14 heading into the fourth here as the Greenbacks look to hang on to this lead. Let's go.
Head down. Snap will go up to Max Uni, who has room to the 5. Touchdown. Are you kidding me? Max Uni walked into the end zone untouched.
Greenbacks with a huge touchdown there. 9:28 to go in the fourth. Max Union really breaks this game open, makes it a 17-point ball game at this point.
Max looking to throw, rolls to his right and has Martinez open the 5-20, 10, 5, Martinez is in! Whoa!
Greenbacks, 4:14 to go. We're not out of the woods yet. Yeah, can't close this one out.
Heel comes under center with 3 backs behind him. He'll take it, roll to his right, under pressure, and he is sacked. Oh, now he throws it to the left. It's picked off! It's picked off by the Greenbacks. There goes Max Uni to the 45-yard line. What a play! What a play! What a play by Max Uni! Max gets the high snap, takes it off to the left, and a big cut. Nice two. Max Uni takes it. 10-5. Touchdown! Greenbacks. Max Uni's in from 37 yards out.
Boy, last time we needed 1, he got us 12. There we need 3, and he gets us 37.
Thank you,
Good game, Coach.
Really appreciate it.
You're my
Yes.
Snickers player of the game. Here you go. You get my Snickers. Yeah.
Okay, Carson, you were voted player of the game by the student section. What was your favorite play or your most favorite?
Probably when Max Uni got the interception. We just turned the ball over on a kickoff, and it just gave us a lot of momentum.
Okay, John, do you think the cold weather affected how you guys played?
I mean, it was harder to stretch. I mean, we had to stretch a little bit, but other than that, it felt good.
All right, still tuning in here. It's halftime at Nickerson. Boy, their band is big and loud, but they're good. A couple scores around the state that we're seeing here. Andale, everyone's curious about the Andale score. 18-0 at half is what we're getting. That's a nice score to see. 18-0 at half for Andale. That's nice to see that. Yeah. Scott City up 42-0 over Goodland. Holcomb up 21-10. So as of now, looks like we could head out to Holcomb. Yeah, Holcomb. That's all we got so far. Hey, you were just talking about an update on Bailey Jackson State. Looks like she defeats the McPherson opponent 9-6. And so she'll play tomorrow. That guarantees her a medal. So congrats to Bailey. That's fun to see. Always fun to see Greenbacks make it into the postseason and do well. Let's see what else they've got. Yeah, tennis team, or not tennis, but golf. Heading up to, where are they at? McPherson? I guess you should tune into that interview and you probably know.
Welcome back into the Pratt City Ford halftime show. Austin McNorton, Cody East
with you
here with you live. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Pratt 55, Nickerson 0. We will have a running clock throughout the rest of this second half, so it will go by fast. So stay tuned, stay with us. And thank you so much to head coach for the Greenback Girls Golf Team, Erica Hausholter, for joining us. As the Greenback Girls back-to-back years making it to the state tournament. Cody, it's just incredible to see what these other teams are doing.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Bailey Jackson having a great day, tennis-wise. The girls golf team, they're going to be fun to watch, see what they can do. Avery Blasey last year was kind of the lone state placer, but this year I think we've got a chance to have multiple state placers with some of those other girls that have really came on this year. I can't think of off the top of my head. I think Aniston Teasley, Lexi Blasey, a couple of them that should be fun to watch and exciting times for the Greenbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to Kansas True Country on Facebook in case you missed that interview with head coach Hausholter and listen to the full theme. But as Cody was just mentioning, Bailey Jackson, she defeated a McPherson Bullpup today, and she is guaranteed a medal. She will play again tomorrow morning in the 4A state tennis tournament. So incredible honor there for Bailey Jackson and your Greenbacks up right now 55-0 in football. I'm looking at some other scores, Cody. We saw Holcomb right now leading 21-10 over Hugoton. At halftime, that one's not as close as I maybe thought it would be, but Holcomb with the lead. And then one that I think is a little bit closer than maybe anyone expected, Andel 18-0. Still, 18-0, you're like, well, that doesn't seem like a close game, but for Andel, it actually is a close game.
Yeah, that was one that we wanted to keep an eye on, and 18-0, that's the closest we've seen anybody play Andel to this point.
And maybe in the last 4 years, the closest that anyone's played Andel.
Yeah, you probably are not wrong there.
Even in their state championship game, they won by 30, I believe. But the Greenbacks up here 55-0. So if you're head coach Brent Holteen, now you're getting a lot of new players in the ball game, Cody. So how do the Greenbacks kind of attack this with a lot of freshmen and a lot of sophomores in the ball game?
I would say not quite like a JV game. JV games don't quite have the sense of urgency or opponent that you're going to see here. So Nickerson's going to keep playing their starters. They're still their homecoming night. Right. They've got a lot to still show or hope to show. So the Greenbacks, Coach Holting is going to tell those younger kids, hey, this is your time to shine. It's not very often that you're going to get a full half of varsity football against a varsity opponent. And so when you get that opportunity, don't go in there and waste it. Take it seriously. Take advantage of it. This is your time to shine and see if you can put some points on the board as a younger, classman.
And thank you all so much once again for tuning into the Pratt City Ford halftime show. We are getting you set for kickoff now. The Greenbacks will get the football to start quarter number 3 with the running clock. This half will go by quickly, so be ready as the Greenbacks will go left to right. And, we've heard so much about Brent Holteen talking about some of these young guys, Creston Poor, Ethan Steinmates, and so many others. We're going to get to see them in action now, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and we're going to have to get our programs ready here so we can figure out, we've got them both out here. We're going to see a lot of names and numbers that we're not used to calling on a varsity football game, but it should be fun. I'm excited to see what these kids come out to do, and now it gives us a chance to get excited about some new names and faces. So
love it. The future Greenbacks here in the second half, leading 55-0 with a running clock, as we saw an incredible, the best halftime show I've seen all season.
Yeah, you've been going on and on about their band.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, but you were a band guy.
I was.
You were a band
guy. I was a band guy. I don't know how to play football.
I guess I don't appreciate it maybe as much as I should or know.
They are legit. Big bands are always fun, and that was a big band here at the 3A level. Like to see it. So Nickerson will kick off for the very first time tonight. And it's a line drive kick, caught at about the 20-yard line, taken to the far side of the field with a little bit of room to run, and cut down at the 31-yard line on the carry that time. I'm not sure who had the...
Blake Windsor, number 11 there. Blake Windsor got the return there. And
sophomore running back already making an impact on the kickoff return. 1st and 10 Greenbacks with a running clock starting on their own 32-yard line, going left to right on your radio dial. Once again in their road white uniforms, green numbers, green helmets, gold trim down the side. Nickerson in their home blue pants, blue numbers, or blue jerseys and white numbers.
A little bit of breeze. Starting to get a little cooler in the
it
evening
is.
here, Austin. A
A
little
lot of
breeze. It
wind
feels
picking
nice up here in the booth.
A lot of wind picking up from the north now that the sun has set and the lights are on. The ball will be pitched up the middle, kind of a shovel pass play there for the JV squad out there for the Greenbacks, and that might be one of the first shovel passes we've seen all season. I think it was again Blake Windsor.
Well, yeah, a couple plays tonight that we haven't seen. You know, we saw the option earlier, we saw the ghost play. Haven't seen that yet. So now we see a shovel pass. So even the JV coming out with a little bit of wrinkles here.
An opportunity for some of these young guys to maybe work some new outlooks for head coach Brent Holty before taking on the #1 team in the state of Kansas next week at Zerger. In the backfield, Poor waits on the snap with two backs to the left. Ball will be snapped directly up the middle and fighting forward near the 40 to about the 39-yard line is where they will spot the football on the carry that time.
Looked like James Welch, number 16 there. And even at this younger age, you know, we've asked Coach Holting before about that style of running where they follow that lead blocker with the hand on the back, and you can even see it. These younger kids are already doing that so well. He never took his hand off the back of that lead blocker and just followed him right through the hole.
3rd and 3 Greenbacks. I believe this might be the first third down of the night for Pratt. 3rd and 3 on their own 39-yard line. They need to get to the Greenback 43 to keep the drive alive. In the backfield, Greenbacks will take it and hand it off. The ball's put on the turf. Windsor has to fall on it. Poor couldn't get the handoff very cleanly to Blake, and the Greenbacks will have to punt after a loss on 3rd down in the backfield back to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, just not a very clean exchange there. I don't know if Blake wasn't expecting that ball or Creston maybe put it in a little high, a little low. First time we've seen the ball on the ground for the Greenbacks, and like I said, first time that we're going to see the punt unit come out. I'm curious which way that breeze is blowing. You can even hear it in our mics now. It's starting to pick up quite a bit. That could affect this punt if it's going one way or the other.
Clock continues to run. 9:25 to go in quarter number 3. Pratt leading 55-0. Have their second team in the ballgame. I wonder if it's your first team punt unit, though. That was a high snap, and nope, that was not the first
That
team
was
punt
not
unit.
the first team punt unit based off that snap.
That snap was way over the head of Windsor in the backfield, who was looking to play. There was actually a whistle before the snap anyway. Wow, there was actually a snap infraction as well with the tough snap. So the Greenbacks, a snap infraction, that's something you don't see too often, and now they'll move backwards.
What is a snap infraction?
And when you get the ball set looking to snap it, and then you move it again
the center maybe
after
picks it up off the ground, or okay,
exactly right.
I got
The center picks the ball up. This time it's a perfect snap. It's a really high punt. The wind picks it up. It'll take a good Greenback bounce, a really good Greenback bounce, all the way to the Panther 46-yard line before Windsor gets it and downs it right there.
Well, so Nickerson going to get some good field position here to start this drive off. You know, they're looking to come out of this half, maybe put some points on the board, knowing that it's against a different defense that they saw in that first half.
This is a Panther offense who has averaged 10 points per game. They have been shut out twice, though. Shut out against Andale and Hillsborough. So like to avoid that here as they're down 55-0 with the 8:05 left in the third quarter and a running clock. 2 wide receivers to either side of Morrell in the backfield, and Van Cleek standing behind him. Morrell will roll out to the right, looking into that option play. Now he'll cut it back to the near side, to the left with breaking out of tackles. 2 tackles and finally thrown out of bounds after a nice pickup that time before he's thrown out of bounds. But it looked like number 18 for the Greenbacks, Connor McLemore.
You know, and then we said we knew they had some athleticism on their side, and this half you might see a little bit of that going against this secondary offense or defense for the Greenbacks. You might see some more of those big plays. We saw just a few of them and a glimpse of them that first half, but these younger kids might give up a few of those plays that we didn't see the first half.
The Greenbacks sealed off that left edge really well where the option was intended to go, but Morrell with his athleticism took it to the near side and picked up 7. Now he'll take it, look to throw out to the flat, has his man caught into Greenback territory to the 39-yard line. Nice throw that time by Colton, and he got it over to, it might have been the tight end, Cage Kelly over there.
I didn't catch that number. Looked like one of the bigger players, though, for Nickerson.
It wasn't Kelly. He was on the sideline. It looked like it was number 10, Jace Byard, the fullback, coming out and receiving the football out in the flat. First down, Panthers. 1st and 10 on the Greenback 37-yard line, going right to left. 6:42 to go here in our very fast third quarter with that running clock.
Yeah, that running clock's going to make a difference on how fast this second half goes.
55-0 Greenbacks. Morrell in the backfield. He'll hand it off to the near side and trying to get to the edges. Van Cleek, and he can't. What a nice tackle made that time by number 54 for the Greenbacks. And that, I believe, is 64.
64, but
He
there
has
we go.
two
He's got
numbers,
split
you're right.
numbers. I was looking at the 62, 63, and it jumped straight to 67. I thought, well, where'd he go?
Ethan Steinmates, there he is. One of the players Brent Holting has been talking about all season in practice. That's a nice play out in the flat, tackling a very quick back, Alaric Van Cleek.
And that's what we were talking about a little bit coming out of this break, was that these kids are going to get a chance to kind of step up and shine against better opponents than what they're used to seeing at the JV level.
Up the middle this time. That's a big hit. Jace Byard laid on the up man for the Greenbacks. A nice job getting up to the 31-yard line. A pickup of about 6 that time. And it is third down, a big third down for this Greenback defense. 3rd and 4. 5:35 to go in quarter number 3. Pratt leading 55-0.
And you know, if you're the Greenbacks, though, and you know the varsity, the starters are telling still this secondary, hey, we got a shutout going into half here. Don't blow it. We want Coach Brown to cook us another one of those breakfasts on Saturday morning outside in the parking lot.
Greenbacks shut out Larned in week 1, 67-0. Would like to do that here. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Byard fakes the handoff, and actually he did get the handoff, and the Greenbacks are there. An army of them are right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It's 4th down. What a nice job by the defense.
An army of them. I love it. Now that we've found out that word and that we know how to use it the right way, it's not going to be the last time you hear it.
And here we go, 4th down. Can the Greenbacks second unit defense get off the field? 4th and 5 Nickerson on the Greenback 32-yard line. They need to get up to the 27 to keep the drive alive. 4:35 to go in quarter number 3. Big play here for Colton Morrell, the senior. 2 wide receivers to either side. Van Cleek stands behind him in the gun. Byard goes in motion. Morrell will keep it himself up the middle and steps to the outside with room. 25-20, 15-10-5, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
And that's that athleticism that we thought might show a little bit more with this younger team out there from the Greenbacks. There goes that shutout that we were talking about.
There goes the shutout, a 32-yard run by Morrell, and the Panthers are on the scoreboard as Pratt leads 55-6. With 4:03 to go here in quarter number 3. That stops the clock, and a big run there by the senior. Point after attempt. It looks like the Panthers will go for 2 here. Actually, the clock didn't stop on the touchdown. Maybe it stops after the point after.
I don't know that it'll stop at all.
And kick is up, and it is good, and the Panther crowd goes wild here in Nickerson.
Yes, they do. I'm not sure how to feel about that. You're down 55-7, and you're going wild. Hey, you got to root when you got a chance to root. So
I love it.
I'm not going to blame them.
A 32-yard touchdown run by Colton Morrell, and the Panthers are on the board. 3:30 to go in the ball game. It's Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. You're tuned in to Greenback football here on True Country. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Boy, I
break there.
that it stopped after a touchdown.
I don't think. Is it still running?
It's still running.
So the clock's still running.
This is going to be really fast.
Yeah, it's literally going to be 24 minutes from the time that first hit. They're probably going to stop it in between quarters, but other than that, this clock's not going to stop for anything other than an injury timeout or break in quarters. So, yeah, this should go by quick. I don't think we got to worry about 108 to anything with the running clock. That amazes me. How do you put up 108 points?
I don't know how that's scary.
With the running clock in the second half. How do you put up 108 points?
Terrifying.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, because it's just so not easy.
Yeah.
Because you only have 24 minutes to work with.
Right. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
If you're watching, hopefully the audio's good. Somebody was saying there was no audio, so I hope we're back up and going with the audio. Otherwise, my jokes aren't as funny.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back from the studio. Oscar McNarton, Cody Isis here with you live from Nickerson High School. 2 minutes of football remain here in quarter number 3. The Panthers onside kick, and I think they got it.
Oh, wow. I wasn't even watching there, Austin. I was busy fiddling and didn't even see what happened.
The onside kick is good.
With the reaction from the crowd, it does appear the Panthers
as the ball went right in between the legs of Madden Wilson out there, the freshman who was standing on that front line of the greenback kickoff unit, went right in between his legs, and the Panthers had the football back. 90 seconds to go with a running clock here in quarter number 3. Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. So we'll see if the Panthers can get another score on the board, and now the clock will stop as Nickerson takes a timeout. 1:21 to go in quarter number 3. It's Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. You're tuned into Greenback Football on True Country, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Oh, it went
right there.
right
I
in
know. I
between
didn't
his
even
legs.
see it. I was adjusting stuff here and didn't see what happened.
It was a
look up, and all of a sudden,
perfect kick.
official's pointing that way, and Nickerson gets the ball. So, I didn't switch the camera there. So if you're watching, yeah, Nickerson with the successful onside
Good
kick.
God.
And if you're Coach Holting, this is where you're saying, come on, guys, you're getting the chance. This is your first full half of varsity football. You got to clean it up and be ready for that. You know, they didn't have Easton Rec draw on the hands team. That's probably what it is. You know, that's what you need on that
You
hands
mention
team.
it every time.
Easton Rec, heck yeah, he's the best hands player there is. I hope you listen to this, Easton.
You're tuning in to Greenback Football here on True Country. Thanks so much to Call Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. 1:21 to go in quarter number 3 as Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. It is a running clock. The Panthers stop it for a timeout, and they have the football after recovering the onside kick after their first touchdown of the game. 1st and 10, going right to left on the Greenback 47-yard line.
A little curious what you come out of a timeout like that.
Morrell looks to throw out to the flat. It's caught. Nice catch, but a good hit made by Creston Poor coming from the safety position. Gain of about 5 that time for the Panthers up to the 42-yard line after the pass is caught by, it looked like it was number 10, Jace Byard again.
Yeah, and looked like Connor McLemore in on that tackle too alongside Creston. Really stood that Nickerson Panther up and not letting him get any yards after that catch.
Let's take a look at some of the scores. Also, thanks so much to Chris Batten. He's been giving Cody and I these score updates today. Andale leads 24-0 now over Cheney with 5:48 to go in the third quarter. Holcomb leads 21-10 over Hugoton at the end of the third quarter. So that game's gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As there's only 34 seconds left here in our third quarter. 2nd and 5 Panthers. Morrell will keep it himself up the middle, and he follows the pile and got near the sticks. It'll be close. Nice tackle made by a couple of Greenbacks. The first one I saw in there was number 62. That's Barrett Bolin on the tackle.
Yep.
Gain of 4.5. It's 3rd down. And that might be the final play in the third quarter. We'll see how quickly the Panthers go here, how aggressive they want to be.
Yeah, Morrell looked like he
give him
had
the first
a
down.
little bit of room to run there, but every time he tried to move, he had looked like number 68 or what number was that?
I saw Barrett Bolin make the
So
tackle.
for Nickerson, he couldn't get around his lead blocker. Every time he tried to go left, so did his lead blocker. He'd go left and left, right. His blocker kept jumping right in front of him.
Well, that was a very fast 12 minutes of football. They've come and gone. At the end of quarter number 3, it's Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. You're tuned in to Greenback Football here on True Country, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Ooh, fourth quarter. All right,
Let's go.
Let's get it up here.
Yes,
Fourth
sir.
quarter. What do we got for score? 55-7.
We're losing track.
55-7. I know I'm losing track. Yeah, 55-7 Greenbacks as they lead this. So, like I said, if you're watching the stream tonight, usually got this GoPro and my camera running a bunch in the booth. Tonight, not so much. So, not sure how the in the vlog is going to turn out this week. It was just I don't know, bit of an odd night. Had a lot of big plays, but I couldn't hit record fast enough to get them.
That was not a 60-second commercial. Nice tackle.
Can't hear that. There we go.
I just love the music. Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio playing us in. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. 11:35 to go in the ball game with a running clock. Pratt leads the Panthers here on their homecoming, 55-7. 2nd and 8 Nickerson on the Greenback 35-yard line. Morrell fakes the handoff, throws deep downfield, and it's nearly an incredible one-handed catch by Mario Ortiz. Would have been a touchdown, but not a great throw by Colton.
A couple times tonight we've seen that where they've had a receiver just wide open, but the ball just not quite there. If it had been there, I think Nickerson probably could put some more points on this board over the course of the night if some of those balls would have been where they needed to be thrown, because that time he didn't have anybody 5 yards around him.
Mario Ortiz almost coned the nose of the football in his one hand, and that would have been about near the 10-yard line is where it was. 3rd and 8 Panthers now, once again on the 35-yard line. Morrell will keep it, taking it to the far sideline, and he's cut down again. The Greenbacks get there before Colton can get to the sticks. He'll be about 3 yards short, and it's another 4th down here for Nickerson. Last time they were in this position, they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and it's got to be 4-down territory for them. They've got about 3 players coming in the huddle, a lot of personnel change, but I don't see them punting at this point in the game. On that play, again, Creston Poor stepping up from that safety position and making a big hit before he could get to the chains and move them.
10:15 to go in the ball game. Pratt 55, Nickerson 7. It's 4th and 3 Panthers on the Greenback 31-yard line. The last time they had it pretty much the exact same place, they scored a touchdown. Going left to right this time, Morrell with 2 wide receivers to either side. It's Van Cleek directly behind him in the gun. He'll roll out to the right, pitch it to Van Cleek in the backfield. He gets near the sticks. He pushes the pile forward. I think he got it.
I think it's going to depend on where that spot is, but he's pretty close.
He was hit behind the line, but I think he kept his legs churning and pushed some of those underclassmen for the Greenbacks forward, and it's a Nickerson 1st down, once again converting on 4th down.
That's a big conversion for Nickerson. Keeps the drive going. Your clock's running. You want to keep this drive going if you're Nickerson and keep it out of the Greenbacks' hands.
9:25 to go in the ball game. It is a running clock, so that 9:25 is true. This game will end in less than 10 minutes. Pratt 55, Nickerson 7, as the Panthers have it. 1st and 10 now, knocking on the door of the BTI green zone at the Greenback 27-yard line. 2 wide receivers to either side. Morrell in the backfield with Byard standing behind him. Now he'll hand it off to, fake the handoff to Byard, who comes in motion, breaks out of several tackles, and once again pushing the pile forward. What a run by Colton Morrell inside the 20. A gain of 9.5, maybe a 1st down. They do, 10 yards.
So the way that pile moved, that looked like a Max Uni style run. The way that pile just moved 4 or 5 yards after it kind of built up there.
My goodness, that's effort play right there from the quarterback, who's a senior tonight. Wants to maybe get a little bit of momentum here on his final home game. 2 wide receivers to either side. Byard goes in motion to the left. Morrell looks that way to throw. Doesn't have anybody open, so he'll scramble to the left. Now looking towards the end zone. High throw, and it's picked off. The Greenbacks got it. Intercepted at the goal line. Who caught it?
It looked like it was tipped by Creston Poor.
Yeah.
He went up for the initial attempt at it. Wasn't quite able to get it, but good job by. They always do that tip drill in practice. You know, if you're the D-back,
Right.
never bat it down. Just tip it up, and you can try to give your other teammates and defensive backs a chance to get there. And that's exactly what Creston did there. Whether he intended to or not, I don't know. But tipped it perfectly. I didn't see who came down with it, though.
My goodness, what a play by the Greenback defense. Ball intercepted at the goal line. They take it out to the 4-yard line. 1st and 10 Greenbacks on their own 4-yard line. 7:37 to go in the ball game. Now an interesting position here for your second team offense. Backed up near your goal line. They have to be careful. They fumbled the ball already the last time they were on the field. They'll take it up the middle. Big hole, nice run for the Greenbacks that time. I think it was.
That looked like Poor again.
Poor, yeah. I think it was Creston Poor that time on the carry. A pickup of about 6 on 1st down. And importantly, creating some breathing room.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Got him out of that end zone a little bit. You know, they were, 4 yards away from that line, and that's never good territory to be in, especially for a little bit more unexperienced offense these younger kids are.
7 minutes exactly remain here in the football game. Pratt leading 55-7 after Colton Morrell's first interception of the night and his 2nd interception this season. Ball will be tipped again, and a nice run again, and it got near the sticks up to about the 15-yard line, first down, and another good run that time, I think, by Creston
Blake
Poor again.
Windsor. Looked
Blake
like
Windsor.
Yeah, I think,
11 and 10.
Yeah,
kind of
a little bit jumbled
looking
up
at
there,
it.
but Blake was able to kind of find a hole and just really cut and get up to it to get those positive yards, enough for the first down.
He got up at the 14 is where they spot the football. 6.5 minutes remain. Pratt trying to run out those 6.5 minutes here if they could would be ideal. I got one first down, just a couple more will probably do it. Or in the backfield, he'll take it, trying to get outside the defensive end, and he cannot. Nice tackle made there by R.J. Monroe, the homecoming king on the freshman quarterback.
That's right. Yeah, Creston trying to get to the outside there, but met by two Nickerson defenders there.
One arm
Nowhere
kind
to
of
go.
said, okay, freshman, one arm, I'm going to hold you. You're not going anywhere. Loss of 3 on first down. 2nd and 13, Greenbacks back on their own 13-yard line, going right to left. 5:50 to go in the ball game, leading 55-7. Poor in the backfield, Windsor to his left. Poor will keep it, trips momentarily, keeps his feet, fights forward up the middle.
The ball might have got on the ground there,
I know,
Austin.
the way the Panther defense was jumping, the ball is loose, fumbled, Panthers recover. Colton Morrell, I think, was the one who came up with the football.
I've got to trade a turnover for a turnover there, about the same spot that Nickerson started their drive with and turned it over. Pratt coming up with that interception, and then 4 or 5 plays later, we give it back on a fumble.
Ball was recovered by Logan Rogers for Nickerson on the fumble. So the Greenback offense has fumbled the ball twice with their second unit. Once they recovered and once they lost. 5:05 to go in the ball game. 1st and 10 Nickerson on the Greenback 17-yard line. Morrell hands it up to Van Cleek, who's hit in the backfield. Nice tackle made by the Greenbacks on that left side of the defensive line.
Yeah, I thought it was 64 there, but it's Ethan
Ethan
Steinmetz
Steinmetz
again.
again,
I was looking down the roster, couldn't find it. I'll get it. Third time's going to be a charm.
Well, we've heard his name so much throughout the course of the season, how valuable he's been in practice, and he's showing it tonight. That's his second tackle for loss, and they actually gave him half a yard, so it won't go down as a tackle for loss, but it should. 4:30.
Yeah, 4:32 to go. See if the Greenbacks can keep Nickerson out of the end zone here.
Pratt does lead 55-7, but you know the Panthers would love to get. They haven't scored more than 10 points in 2 weeks. They haven't scored more than 2 points in 10 weeks, actually, in 2 weeks. And now down the far sideline, Morrell keeps it into the end zone, touchdown. Oh, put that on me.
Yeah, I'm going to put that one on you. Just as you start to talk
1000%.
about their lack of scoring, all of a sudden around the corner, they go. So, boy, we're going to blame that one on on Austin. that one goes to you.
They haven't scored more than 2 points in 2 weeks, and now they have 2 touchdowns as Colton Morrell takes it 15 yards into the end zone with 3:48 to go in the ball game. They'll come out for the point after attempt now on the field goal. So the last time this happened, the Panther crowd went nuts. It's up and it is good, and the Panther crowd goes berserk again.
And they are just as excited.
3.5 minutes of football remain. It's Pratt 55, Nickerson 14. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Ain't going to be much time left in this game. 3:16. I don't know that the clock will stop any after this, like I said, unless we get another score, but 3:16 to go with this running clock. I'm predicting that this 55-14 is going to be the final score of the game. We'll see. We'll see. It'd be nice to see these young kids get a touchdown in there, though. At 55 at half, right? We haven't scored this half. Yeah. So see if this
Very
young
similar to last year. Last year was
some-
54-18. It's a very similar game to last year.
Yeah, probably similar fashion too. Up big first half, get that second unit in, and give up a few points that second half to still a varsity offense by Nickerson. So let me see. Did have a score update. Holcomb 24-17. Scott City 49-0. And we're back.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain here in the football with a running clock. It's Pratt 55, Nickerson 14 as Colton Morrell has his second touchdown of the night and his 7th rushing touchdown this season from 15 yards out. Pratt leads 55-14, very similar last year. Score was 54-18, Pratt winning. So it's pretty much identical this year, 55-14 the score. As we'll see if Nickerson will try another onside kick. That's what the Greenbacks are looking for. They're setting up an onside kick coverage. And that's exactly what Nickerson will do. This time, once again, it goes through the Greenback legs, but they recover it on their own 35-yard line. It wasn't a perfect recovery, but it was recovered by, it looked like number 14, Cameron Cox, at the 35-yard line for Pratt.
Yeah, that time that onside kick got just a little deeper than the last one. Nickerson wasn't able to get up there as quick and get to it as they did that last one. So good job by the Greenbacks to just fall on that ball.
Look at that Greenback student section. They all got their phone flashlights out as they're waving goodbye here to the Nickerson homecoming crowd. As there's 65 seconds of football remaining, the Greenbacks will have to run 2 plays and they will win it. Windsor gets the ball off to the right side of the formation. He's cut down after a gain of about 2.
Always fun seeing those flashlights on the phones come out. Looks like you're at a concert there. Everybody waving them around. Granted, there's only about 20 of them versus 20,000 that you might see at a concert, but still fun to see.
And again, Holcomb leads Hugoton 24-17 in that game. We'll get a confirmation if that's the final score or not. There wasn't much time left. Greenbacks will have to run 1 more play. There's an 8-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So Poor stands in the backfield with Windsor to his left, awaiting the snap. Windsor will get the direct snap up to the middle. He's cut down by a pride of Panthers, and that will be the ball game. Final score here from Nickerson. It's Pratt 55, Nickerson 14. Thank you so much for tuning in to Greenback Football here on True Country, as it's time now for the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show here on True Country. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Second half went so fast.
Yeah, it did. Woo, that was a fast second half. Stay tuned. We'll have some post-game wrap-up here. We'll keep it live here in the booth. Boy, it's getting windy. Have Coach Holting up here. Well, what kind of questions do you ask Coach Holting after a win like that, Austin? I mean, you got done what you needed to get done, and now it's probably have watched 2 weeks worth of film on Andale.
Last time we had a game like this, he wasn't very happy, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it's true. He came up here and said, "Oh, we didn't look like." I said, "It's 55-14. How can you not be happy?" So we'll see if we get happy Brent or Coach Brent. Get him a chair, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, scores update. Sounded like that Cheney game was a hard-fought game. Getting reports.
6:19 left.
Both sides are hitting hard tonight.
Wow.
No, 24-0.
32-0 Andale.
32-0, so 32-0. But I'll bet that's a physical game. Cheney was physical when we played him, so I'll bet that's going to be a physical one. Let's see. You got your other mic for Coach Holting. Get that ready. Yeah, so we'll stick around here. Homecoming spoiled again by the Greenbacks. We did that to Hoisington and Nickerson this year.
You said this one doesn't work too well?
I'll just give him mine.
Okay.
Yeah, that one you couldn't, like, one side couldn't hear very well at all, so yeah, I'll just talk through that one.
Oh,
that's neat.
that's really cool.
Yeah, and you can see out there. Let's see if we can switch it. All the players huddling together out there midfield.
Welcome back.
Let's see. I'm gonna stick with this one.
Welcome back into the Pratt City Ford welcome back into the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. Thanks so much to Carl Rita back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. Final score here tonight, it's Pratt 55, Nickerson 14, and this is really cool. Both teams meeting at center field at the 50-yard line, and that's really cool to see that kind of sportsmanship, and you wonder if it has anything to do. We saw Cody Spurlock had that big injury in the first half. He actually ended up going to the hospital. They cut off his jersey and his pads, went to the hospital, so you wonder if this is just kind of a moment of saying, you know, there's bigger things more important than the game, no matter what the final score is. But also, Cody, you've seen nothing but respect from both of these two fan bases on Twitter all week, and I don't know what it is between these two teams, but it's kind of like, there's no such thing as a hate week.
No, and with Nickerson, we've seen it. With the unfortunate, everybody in the country is familiar with the news to the Jones family,
Right.
and there have been just such an outpouring of love and respect and sportsmanship. Anytime an opponent faces Nickerson, and you wouldn't expect anything less, but it's always great to see and touching to see, and so props to all those players and coaches and around the state and every league. Yeah, neat moment.
Head coach Taylor Bowman doing a lot of the talking out there at the 50-yard line as both teams put their arms around each other. Nothing but love and respect as Pratt wins it 55-14. We'll talk to Brent Holting here in a little bit, but Cody, your thoughts on tonight's game? It was kind of a wild first half as Pratt scored on their first 3 times they touched the football, and then the second half went by like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how we thought it would go or how we hoped it would go going into this week. We'd seen Nickerson play some common opponents, some other opponents, and how their score went. You want to shut that?
Yeah,
we're going to get this door shut. It is breezy.
There's no crowd noise anymore, so I think we're going to close the window.
Boy, that's much better. Yeah, so this is the type of game that we wanted to come out, play clean, stay healthy. A couple players, not playing due to health, but also didn't look like, at least from up here, we had any injuries on our side. So always good to come out of a game like this, get a win like you're hoping to get, but also come out of it healthy, heading into a huge matchup next week.
Pratt moves to 6-1 on the season, and Cody, in your opinion, how do you kind of take a game like this? How do you take a game like this where everything just kind of comes easy? I don't know if that's just Nickerson mistakes, your offensive execution. You can kind of choose, but how do you kind of take games like this where your varsity doesn't play in the entire second half and to say, all right, now we got to get back to business and play the #1 team in the entire state of Kansas coming up next week? How do you take games like this?
Well, it depends on who you're asking. If you're asking Coach Holting, he's going to find plenty of things to pick apart. If you're asking the players, when I was a player, a game like this was always kind of fun. It was like you knew by halftime you had a 50-point lead. You can kind of take the pads off, watch some of your younger friends, your underclassmen play. So you ask the players, how's a game like this? They're like, man, we'd take one of those every week. You ask Coach Holting, and I'm sure he's going to tell us here in a bit, hey, we did what we needed to do, but there's a lot of things we're going to have to improve on. I thought we looked great, but us knowing Coach Holting, he's going to find some things to work on, especially, again, we mentioned it, heading into next week against Andale.
Greenbacks win it, final score 55-14. You're tuned into the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show here on True Country. We will take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, one of two things will happen. We're either talking to head coach Brent Holting, or we're passing out some of our post-game awards. Either way, you don't want to miss it. Final score, Pratt 55, Nickerson 14. You're tuned in to Greenback Football on True Country. We're back in 2 minutes.
Let's see, what are we thinking for awards there? If you're still out there watching the stream, shoot some comments down below if you got any ideas on...
Well, we got hit.
We do have a hit. Johnny Martinez had a huge hit. Kenny, JR, I think, just had a banged-up shoulder is why he didn't play tonight. Not sure the severity of it, but I think it was just a matter of precaution. We'll see how that progresses going into next week. We got the hit stick. Special teams player. I don't know why you wouldn't give it to Adrian.
He didn't miss one.
His leg got more use tonight than we've seen all year.
He did not miss one.
What else do we got?
Perfect.
Player of the game. Boy, there was a lot of them.
Amy scored on a reception, a pass, and a run. So
that's kind of the cycle.
Tatro had 2 touchdowns.
I was going to say, Tatro,
he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Tatro would be a good recipient.
We didn't even know if Johnny was going to play tonight, and he had a 52-yard touchdown run.
That's true.
And he had the hit of the night.
Yeah. I like Tatro. We haven't ever given him an award. Might be his night to get one. I mean, I'm sure you could hand it around to some other ones, but...
I like that, too. That's a great answer.
Is that it then? Just player of the game?
Fan of the game.
Fan of the game.
Boy.
What got over there?
I like the whiteout student section.
I know, they did. Yeah, if you're watching, I don't know if we got a shot over there, but all the students
I have to go with the game green.
We're wearing white over there. Let's see, who told us about Army of Frogs?
Oh, yeah. We got to give it to them.
I had a couple. Kenny Tatro might have been the first one to put it in, at least on the YouTube feed. I got a couple answers in Messenger, but Kenny's was the first one I saw. So
all right, he's getting it then.
Kenny, a frequent commenter on here. Appreciate it, Kenny.
Yeah, he's getting it for sure.
Let's see. Yeah, getting chilly out here. So Holting's still down there talking to the players, but he'll be up here shortly. So stick around if you want to watch that. If not, you can go hop in your car, turn the radio on, and catch it there too. That feels a lot better with that door closed.
Yeah, I was like, the game's over. I really don't need the crowd noise anymore.
It's really bad. It's tough to see out of.
That's why I always.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome back into the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live from Nickerson High School. Thanks so much to Carl Ray back from the studio. The Greenbacks improved to 6-1 on the season after defeating the Panthers of Nickerson 55-14. Nickerson falls to 1-6 on the year. It's time to pass out some awards here on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. First, it's the Kansas Co-op Special Teams Play of the Game, a great team. It's Co-op month here in the month of October. Kansas Co-op, one of the best teams around the state of Kansas for all your needs. Kansas Co-op Special Teams Player of the Game. Boy, Adrian did not miss a kick tonight.
No, yeah, you talk special teams, and it's tough for anybody to steal that from him any game, and I don't think anybody did anything outstanding outside of, on special teams that would have warranted saying, let's give it to someone other than him. So, yeah, Adrian, man, showing off that leg again tonight.
He did not miss. The only point after the Greenbacks did not convert was because of a mishandled snap, or else he likely would have made that too. And I also heard that the PA announcer tonight has been phenomenal from what I've heard. And he said that, he's like, man, that's the best kicker we've ever seen all season. So
nice.
The PA announcer for the opposing team is saying that. That's pretty special. Adrian Warriors, congratulations. Mead Lumber stud hit of the game. Go talk to John White at Mead Lumber in Pratt. The stud hit of the ball game. We wrote it down. It's still written down. What a hit by Johnny Martinez. We didn't even know he was going to play tonight. He had a big hit on a wide receiver, or on a running back screen, and killed Jace
that
Van
screen
Skleet.
pass floated a little too high and gave Johnny time to get up ahead of steam, and man, he put it right where it needed to be, just lowered that head and shoulders, and
My goodness.
woo, that was an instant stick of the week as soon as we saw it.
We wrote it down immediately. Johnny Martinez, your Mead Lumber stud hit of the game. Now, where can you get good neighbor service and surprisingly great insurance rates? At State Farm, because State Farm agent Dan Gillig is your one-stop shop in Pratt for the service you deserve at the price you want, so stop looking around. State Farm agent Dan Gillig is ready to help. Call 620-672-3485 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Your State Farm Insurance fan of the game. We were asking, and I can't believe Cody and I haven't used this ever in our 2 years together. A swarm of frogs is called an army of frogs. And who did we get this information from?
We would not have known that, and we would have called it something grossly wrong had we not got a submission from one of our watchers out there, Kenny Tatro. So we had to give Kenny the fan of the game tonight for shooting that in there, letting us know that, hey, guys, it's an army of frogs. So now we know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny.
Who would have thought to get frogs together would be so terrifying? An army of frogs. State Farm Insurance fan of the game. Congratulations to Kenny. And now finally, our Can-Equip player of the game. Go talk to Rodney Walker at Can-Equip in Pratt for all of your case IH needs. Your Can-Equip player of the game. We argued over this over the break. Carson Amy had a touchdown catch, a touchdown pass, and a touchdown run. But Justice Tatro got into the end zone twice tonight. First play of the game, a 71-yard touchdown catch. And boy, Justice Tatro, we don't get to say his name a lot tonight, but he was fantastic.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't give that word out a lot to him. We haven't said his name a lot, but tonight had a great game. The 2 touchdowns. A lot of games you could easily pick Max, Johnny, Carson. So fun to give it out to someone who normally doesn't quite shine as much. So Justice making a big impact tonight, and that player of the game heading his way.
Justice Tatro, your Can-Equip player of the game. Go talk to Rodney Walker for all your case IH needs at Can-Equip in Pratt. When we come back on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show, we're talking to head coach of the Greenbacks, Brent Holstein. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Swap you here. Good game, Coach.
Good, sir.
We'll pop those off, Austin. I'm just going to switch to...
Okay.
We're going to change our... Oh, there you go. Turn that down. All right, we are still live on here, so don't say anything about Coach Strong that you wouldn't want to say on there. We are still live on YouTube, so don't say anything about Coach Strong that you wouldn't want everybody to hear.
I think everyone already knows everything about Coach Strong.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Oh yeah. Turn that mic. Hurry.
Thanks so much to Carl Rada back in the studio. Austin McNorton, Cody Eastis here with you live on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. The Greenbacks improved to 6-1 on the season with a victory over the Panthers. Final score 55-14. And Coach, Cody and I haven't even mentioned this on the radio as we're talking to Brent Holteen here with us now on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. We haven't even mentioned it yet because we wanted you to have the first word. A Central Kansas League title outright.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right, yeah. No, I told our kids, I'm really proud of them. We've talked about this all throughout the season. What these kids did, 4 years ago, obviously they bought in. This senior group, they bought into what we were selling, attacked the weight room, worked at getting better every day. And you can't control state, whatever. When we talked, the first thing we want to do is control our area and control our leagues. I think there's a lot of pride and value in that. And so I'm just super proud of these kids, super proud of how they came out tonight, played. We talked about, we knew Nickerson had some issues, but good teams come out and put them away early. I think we scored our first 3 plays. Right. And so it's hard to beat that efficiency-wise. So I was really proud of them, how they handled it, and I think they matured so much and how they approach the game. Their leadership has come so far, and they deserve this, and they deserve that moment. I'm just really proud of them.
How tough is it in a win like that 55-0 at half? Is it to still coach? I don't know if that's the right word for it, but to not say, hey guys, we still got to be doing this, this, and this when they're saying we're up by 55. How hard is it to still keep them dialed in?
I think they would probably tell you we're harder on them on games like that.
Oh, I said it.
Cody called it.
Than we are other times, because I think that's when you can really fine tune. That's when you can say, look, yeah, that looks okay here, but when we play Andale next week, that angle's poor. We can't take it. Or that block, we're pushing off on it. We're shoving off instead of locking in. All that little stuff. I think in games like this is when you coach the little things that can sometimes, I know, be annoying with kids and be hard on them. And it's hard to do that in a tight game because you're just trying to make adjustments. And it's hard to do that, obviously, if you're getting beat. You want to beat a kid down worse because no one likes to lose and they're trying out there. So I think those games you can make all those little adjustments. But I was really, really proud of our kids for how they came out, how they handled everything, and just took care of business like they should.
We're talking to Brent Holteen here with us on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. Pratt wins at 55-14 here on their final road game of the regular season versus Nickerson. Well, Coach, you kind of alluded to that offensive success. You scored on your first 5 drives. You scored 4 times on just 4 plays. You had 1 drive that was like 5 plays long, but the other ones, talk about that offensive success. And the first 5 drives, you scored 4 times on 4 plays.
Yeah, and I think we were trying to do some different stuff. Maybe you noticed it up here.
We did see the ghost play, which we think was accurately.
That was the ghost play.
That was beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, we wanted to get Adam works really hard. He's a fantastic kid. Has worked his tail off in the weight room, and we wanted to reward him. And so that was a lot of fun to be able to do. And it was open. He made it in pretty easy. Justice obviously has played great for us all year. It was nice to be able to see him get out in the open, and then obviously the usual cast of characters, Max Garcia.
Oh, and we saw the Drake play again, also from a little farther out.
19 a little farther out. Yeah. And we wanted to, we'd actually gotten word that maybe he's not quite turning his back enough to the line of scrimmage, so it was a judgment call. It could be called. So we wanted to run it to where we know it's legal. If he knows he's spun out of his position to make sure his back's turned the line of scrimmage completely to make it legal. So we wanted to test run that in the game because Drake he is tough when he gets going downhill. It took a lot of guys to tackle him. So that was something we wanted to do, spread the ball around a little bit and able to, like you said, put up 55 in the first half and be pretty efficient with it. It's something I think you got to be happy with.
Hey, Coach, at the end of the game there, we saw a nice moment between you and Nickerson and the head coaches and everybody huddle out there in the center. Can you talk a little bit about what was said there or what that meeting was about for the people that were watching? We tried to get it, but what was that get together?
And we talked out there, just that, we told kids you don't have to be here. It was we did a prayer circle and we said Lord's Prayer, and then we just talked about how the most important things in life are faith, family, and football. That football is a fleeting game, but the lessons you learn and that it will take with you your whole life, and then same with your faith and your family. Obviously, win, lose, or draw. You guys see me out there after every game, and you see my boys. Cameron's on the sideline, and then you see my boys come up and give me hugs. And our guys are so great to my kids. Cannon broke it down tonight. in the post game after we had our breakdown. Then the kids asked him to. It wasn't me saying, "Hey, Cannon, go in there." They said, "Cannon, come in here and do it." And for young kids, that's awesome. That's everything for those kids. And our kids do a great job of that. They're great representatives. I'm proud of them. We talk about football all the time, and I'm so proud of what they've done as football players. But I'm much more proud of the people that they are and the kids that they are, and the things that they do that people don't see all the time. That they don't do it for recognition. They do it because they're good people, and that's credit to our parents and our community. We're just blessed.
We're talking to Brent Holteen here with us on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. Pratt improves to 6-1, beating Nickerson 55-14. And Coach, I know your second team probably didn't have the level of success that you wanted in that second half, but how valuable is it to get some of those guys that experience?
Yeah, we coach them hard. They got to clean up execution, and that's one of those things we told them, like, look, guys, when your opportunity comes, and we don't know when it'll come, with injuries, with whatever, you got to be ready. And we talked about that with them tonight. There were some plays we couldn't run because some kids said, well, we don't know this. Then you got to get in the playbook. It's week 8. And so that's a good learning experience for them, because then you go out there and you're like, oh, man, I don't know this. And no one wants to look bad not knowing stuff. So sometimes that's encouragement to get in the playbook more, encouragement to do those little extra things, because sometimes when you're not always playing on Friday nights, you think, I don't have to learn that yet for a year or two, when in reality, your chance can come at any moment. You got to be ready for it.
And Coach, final question for you. How do you take a game like this? Because you mentioned how tough it might be sometimes to take games like this and apply it to the next week. How do you take a game like this now knowing you're playing the number 1 team in the state of Kansas at Zerger next week?
Oh, I think we celebrate. I told the kids, I said, I want you to celebrate winning a league title tonight.
Love that.
I mean, that's important. That's important. That's a heck of an accomplishment. Like I've said ad nauseum here, since 2002, we'd only won 2. Now, and then a third last year, and then this year, we won back-to-back. That's hard to do. I mean, it really is hard to do. There's a lot of teams that haven't won, and I think I got the value of that. My very first year at Chanute, my very first year as a teacher, we won league for the first time in 70 years. And I remember what it meant to that community because they hadn't done it. And sometimes we get spoiled with success when success is hard. It's hard. Half the teams in Kansas lose every single Friday night. So to do what we've done and to not lose a league game in 2 years is really hard to do. And so I told them to celebrate that tonight. And then tomorrow morning we're on Andale. And really lessons applied, whatever. We're going to talk about reading your keys, firing, being physical, getting off the ball. Because they force you to be the most physical team. If you want to have a chance to beat them and to play with them, you're going to have to be the most physical team on the field. And so that's our challenge. That's what we're going to do, is be the most, or try to do, be the most physical team that we can be. And we've got to come downhill. We've got to be ready for what they do. And I know we'll have a game plan put together, and it's going to be a heck of a, it should be one of the games of the state next week.
Definitely will be, and we're very much looking forward to it. We appreciate your time, and congrats on a league title and another win.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Coach.
That's Brent Holteen here with us on the Pratt Regional Medical Center postgame show. We'll be back in 2 minutes and wrap it all up here from Nickerson High School.
Good win.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
You good lecture on prayer again.
Appreciate it.
They were desperate, had their calling a video crew here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to sign off here, too. Thanks for everybody watching.
Guys.
Good win for the Greenbacks. Tune in to the Greenback page next week for the game against Andale. So,
Big job.
thanks everybody out there.